Okay, welcome back to our Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea campaign. Now, in the new year, Hyperborea. Although we're technically going to still use the second edition rules, so the third edition rules have been delivered in PDFs. I think most of us have them, but this is the last module, the last official module that's been printed in the series. So we're going to start the Sea Wolf's Daughter. We're jumping forward a little bit. It is year one, so 3 years have gone by. The steady count year is 586, but it is year one. Season is winter, and it is dark and cold in Hyperborea with about 2.5 hours of daylight a day. The last couple of years, if there was up to no daylight, things kind of slow down a bit. People have been staying put, maybe spending all the gold they've made in various adventures. But I'm going to give a little brief background as to what we're going to do in here, and then we'll jump into character intros. So, the Ragnar the Sea Wolf, he's a red-bearded giant of a man, the Jarl of New Vineyard and Weaver of old. Alas, the Sea Wolf's best years are behind him. One of his tree-trunk legs is locked at the knee, and his right eye is sightless, slashed by an enemy he later slew. Notwithstanding, he can still flick his great axe as if it was a toy, and with his bare hands he can snap the neck of a bull Eric. Over the years, the Sea Wolf has enjoyed many triumphs and endured many defeats. His worst loss came 7 years ago when his steading was assaulted from the sky by a swarm of winged, faceless devils. Giara, his wife, took up shield and spear, for she was a shield maiden and no stranger to battle. After Giara felled 2 of the devils, a third snatched her up and dashed her against a rock. The Vikings ultimately drove the otherworldly horrors, but lo, the toll was heavy. Giara was among the dead, her broken body discovered by her 12-year-old daughter, Goodhilda. So the Sea Wolf never married again, and as the years passed, his daughter, Goodhilda, blossomed into a rare beauty, tall, long, and lean, with red gold locks and ice-blue eyes. Jarls from far and wide yearned for her as her wife, but despite all the lavish offers of gems and jewelry, silver and gold, Ragnar could not bear to let her go. But about 3 years ago, when you all returned from your various adventures, having had some indication of or connection with Ragnar in the past, he sent his daughter to be under your protection, your training with the group in Khromarium. For the most part, she's been staying with you over the course of the last 3 years, heading back to New Vinland occasionally with the various ships in your trading company. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess, she went back for the holiday of course, now I don't have it in front of me. Tell me what it is, Nikki. It begins with a B. For the holiday.
Oh, Beltane.
Yeah. Beltane, right? So, unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, so at the end of the Beltane holiday, a brute named Born Blackbeard arrived at Sewell's Hall. Blackbeard offered the king's ransom for the young woman, but the Sea Wolf was offended by the villain's impudence. Blackbeard and his men were ousted by the Sea Wolf's Hall, and that night, Goodhilda disappeared. So, since the fateful night, the Sea Wolf has led desperate search to find his daughter. At sea, he crossed sails with blood-feud enemies of old, and from the crimson lips of a dying foe, he learned the location of Blackbeard's stronghold, deep in the misty fords of Brigand's Bay, where the pirates, freebooters, thieves, and murderers thrive. You guys have actually been in Brigand's Bay before. As you guys are unknown to Blackbeard, he has asked for your assistance. The Sea Wolf has asked for your assistance to rescue his daughter. She is supposedly in this structure, this kind of castle structure that is held by Blackbeard in Brigand's Bay. And a word is out that he is seeking mercenaries to join his group. So obviously you can approach it however you deem necessary, but Red, the Sea Wolf, has suggested that perhaps you go pretending to be mercenaries and retrieve his daughter. Before we get any further, because we're going to move right to Brigand's Bay, let's just intro the characters. Maybe if you have something you want to talk about that you've done in the last 2 years, or almost 3 years, go ahead and shout it out. Tell us a little about your character, how you kind of ended up with the group if you're new. There's at least one new character here. And we'll go from there. So, Crystal, tell us what your character has been up to the last 2 years.
For the last couple of years, Ruinseach has been studying hard the arts of alchemy and the magical arcane arts as well, learning many new and useful spells. She's traveled the land in search of knowledge, but now she has spent all of her money, and in order to continue, and feels she's grown stale as well in her magical abilities. So seeking to gain her powers back and hopefully some more assets to fuel her quench for knowledge. She has joined back with the group and has decided to take on this quest with them, and that is Rowan Seach.
Excellent. Mike, tell us about your character.
I played Buka Longtooth. Buka is a Viking berserker. He's strongly associated with saber-toothed cats, and those are his spirit animals that guide him. And as he channels them when he is fighting, he takes on their characteristics. He nearly died in the last great adventure. Well, he did die. And he spent some time in the afterlife in which Uller and a couple of the other pantheon scolded him a bit about losing his Vikingness, and that he was no longer the Viking that he was, but was becoming more of a man and less Viking, becoming more common. And so he has been trying to dive back into his Viking heritage and think more Viking and less man of the world. And so he's been trying to get back to the old country, so to speak. And that's why he's here, as well
Excellent.
as to be close to his real wife.
Ah, yes, Brigand. So, excellent. Yeah, as you know, whether or not you choose to take it, you do know that the Seawolf has put a couple of rewards for the return of his daughter. One being 5,000 gold pieces worth of gems, and another a stead of land in New Vinland. So that can become interesting if you're looking to be back with the Vikings more. But in any case, Nikki, tell us about your character.
I play Pinesta. She is a bard, and she, after losing Buka and then getting him back again, she just took some time off. She wanted to investigate some happenings at the Athorium, so she spent some time in Xambaala working with her frenemy, Aramis, to find out more about what's going on. Even though it's been a few years, the Witch Queen is still, as far as we know, kidnapping Hyperboreans and possibly bathing in their blood. So she tried to do a little bit of research into that, and of course learning new songs. And she now wears a +1 chain armor that she received when we defeated the Lich in the last battle, and she has a rod of rulership as well, which she keeps close to the vest, as she knows just how powerful that can be. So yeah, she's hoping that all of her, she's an old lady now, she's hoping that all of her gained wisdom can help her friends in this new adventure, and that she won't have to lose anybody else. And that's Pinesta.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, there is rumors that the king of Carcosa, no, not Sarnath, bore the rod of rulership. So they say. Let's see. Yang, tell us about your character, new to the group.
So my character, about 3 years ago, was in need of some enchantment, and upon hearing that the folks of a Song and Spear Company has returned after a successful adventure, went to seek them to see if there was a treasure that he could buy off of them. And apparently, one of them had, the company had a pair of bracers, which were magical and allowed him to, travel without getting injured too much, giving him plus, what was it, AC 5 or so. So he's made that purchase. However, after having some interaction with the company, he realized that there was a room for the scholar of the arcane and the occult. And also, he learned that the group has recently come upon a whole lot of alchemical um, apparatus, and he's basically glad to find that his skill as a wizard slash some would call him a man witch would be welcomed. So for the past 3 years, he's been working with a group brewing potions for the company for them to sell occasionally and to help out in the adventure. By the way, he's about 25 years old. He's about 5 feet 7 inches tall with brown hair and about 160 pounds.
Nice.
And yeah,
Excellent. I don't know if it's like a localized thing, but Manwich was like it was like a hamburger helper thing. So it's just funny when you said that. I thought of that. No,
It's another term
Sloppy
for
Joes.
Sloppy Joe. Yep.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was-
which
As soon as he said manwich, I was like, we don't have a manwich or sandwich appetite. We've got a
Right.
manwich appetite.
Exactly. Yeah, yes. Okay, I'm not the only one. There we go. All right, so there we go. So in other words, he's the cook. All right. So, anyways, Rush, tell us about your character.
So I am playing Revna, who is also a Viking. She is a Legerdemainus, so she is a thief and arcanist. She's been with the group for a while now and feels like she's proven her worth to the company. The last few years that they've spent in town, not really adventuring, she has come to the realization that excuse me. She's come to the realization that she has been neglecting on their adventures. She's been neglecting her arcane abilities and her studies in lieu of sneaking about and using her bow and things like that. And she realized that she's put far too much effort to come as far as she has. So she has been concentrating on trying to get better at her arcane studies as well. And also she has begun to start laying the preliminary plans on putting together a small guild of her own here in town, of thieves and Legerdemainus and stuff like that. But she's got some different ideas on how it should be run. More like swashbucklers than petty thieves and things like that. So she's been working on that and keeping her books, and that's pretty much what she's been occupying her time with while there's been this extended downtime.
Nice. Excellent. So yeah, so the group has, as you know, probably maybe several days ago, probably when Goodhilda went missing, went missing. I'm sure that the word went out and you started to kind of get yourselves formulated, some kind of a plan. You've traveled now not on your own ship because you're trying to be kind of undercover here, with the Seawolf, to the Brigand's Bay. I think if I did it right, you should be able to see it in Roll20. There is a boat, his boat, a Drekker, longship, that you came in. It's dragged up onto the shore and hidden. And the plan is he's got with him, aside from you, 40 men. he's asking that you can get into the stronghold of Blackbeard, get his daughter out safely, and get back here where they can take her away on the ship. Of course, not before taking their own vengeance. So as you get kind of pulling up on the shore here, you can see that, of course, obviously it's very cold. It's only about 35 degrees with the wind. It's pretty cold. It's chilly, but it's not as you've been colder in Gall Hills and places like that. So it's clear skies, although you're traveling in the dark as the sun breaks the horizon barely at a little before 11 and is away shortly after 1 at this time of year. So you just get that little hint of glow. Currently, the moon is about half full, so it's not too dark, and it's clear skies, like I say. So the men jump out of the longboat and drag it onto the pebbly shore. What you're told is that about 2 miles to the north, along the shore, are the boats of Blackbeard. He has a small fleet, and just north of that, set upon a cliff, is the stronghold. They're actually going to set up an encampment, and they want to bring you with them to the encampment so that you know where it is, just slightly from where you are, just slightly to the northwest. So unless there's anything you want to do right near the water, we'll just kind of jump up there. Is there anything anybody wants to do near the water before we? By the way, each one of these hexes is a quarter of a mile. Okay. So
we're right there where the Viking longship is, right?
Exactly. That's exactly where you are right now. Imagine, again, each one of those is a quarter of a mile, so you can imagine that it's pulled up on the beach, hidden in trees.
Okay.
But that's exactly where you are. And to the north, he says, you couldn't see because it's you can only see a few miles, especially as it's dark. There is an inlet where there is a small fleet of ships. They know that. Everybody can know something about Blackbeard. So let's do this, or a rumor, anyways. Crystal, roll a d10.
Okay. 8.
8. Okay, so that Born Blackbeard has kidnapped the Jarl's daughter. Oh, he intends to marry her. That's what you've heard when you were doing a little research back in the time. Mike, Buka, roll a d10.
4.
4. Okay, you've actually heard the same thing. Ooh, matching stories.
Must be true then.
Could be. Vanessa, roll a d10.
We're the same drunk.
Right.
8.
Or you heard it from her. Hey, you also heard the same thing. You guys should really spread out more when you're looking for rumors. Ali, roll a d10, Ali.
I got 5.
5. Okay, good. Okay. Oh, you've heard that Blackbeard is steered by the wisdom of an old crone, whose every word he deems to be unquestionably certain and true. So he's got an advisor, an old lady advisor. And finally, Rush, roll me a d10.
Okay. I must have did it wrong.
Uh-oh.
Slash.
Oh yeah. Man, it's been a while.
Right.
A
Oh, look
10.
at you. You have also heard that Blackbeard is steered by the wisdom of an old crone, who he believes every word said. So yeah, you have those two rumors, basically, that he plans on marrying the daughter, and that he is being advised by an old crone.
Hmm.
What's the daughter's name again?
Goodhilda. Many a song has been sung about Goodhilda. Goodhilda, Ragnar's daughter. Right. Because
I
that's
just
that,
can't help it. Sorry.
I was like, should I do it? Should I do it? Then Nikki did it.
Mm. Wow, wandering monsters are going to be heavy in this adventure.
Sorry.
No.
Apparently, Nikki and I watched many of the same cartoons as children.
What was that,
A lot.
Animaniacs or something?
No, it's
Oh.
Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny,
Oh.
man.
Yeah.
One of the best ones ever.
Mhm.
All right.
Guys, by an old crone.
Yeah. Advised by an old crone. So you have a pirate king advised by an old crone who plans on marrying the daughter who he kidnapped. So that's his rival's daughter. So there you go. It's a pretty classic setup.
And
So-
we know Goodhilda. I mean, Goodhilda
Yes.
from
Yep.
being in the same company and
100%.
interacting with her, right? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you would know
She
that
knows
she
us.
is. Yeah, she knows you. Yeah, exactly. She is a. I mean, she's about 20, 18, maybe 17, 18, 20, somewhere in that range. I guess I'll roll randomly. I know she's in that range, so I will roll. She's between 15 and okay. Yeah, so she's actually 17. So even before she came to you, she was obviously she's trained by a Viking, a Jarl. So she's she's a shield maiden in training. She came to you more or less to train for the book learny stuff, But you know that she can definitely take care of herself on some level. But obviously, a single person against an entire group of Viking is understandable that she may have been captured. But 100% you know her, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I say, there's a beach running to the north. It's pebbly, it's kind of small stones. And this is like kind of an evergreen type forest, thick and the kind of forest where like if you walk 15 feet away from somebody, you might not see them because it's very, very heavy. You know that there's a lot of foresting going on up here. Further up the river, they do a lot of foresting, and there's actually a mill up there as well. And you would actually probably know that as well. The mill is right near this castle thing that you're going to. You've never been here, but you know of it. So it's clear that he probably took this area so that he could have control of the mill, because then you have control of the logging business up here. And being that it's year one, this is this is the time where they cut,
Okay.
So there's a lot of loggers. You're likely in the woods collecting timber, and they'll start sending it in the next 6 to 8 months. They'll start sending it down the river after it's been milled.
And these are just loggers. They're not part of Blackbeard's crew, right?
Right.
That we
Well,
know of.
right. Yeah, I mean, loggers are loggers, right? So they're probably working with him in the sense that he's running the mill, as far as you know, but you don't know that. I mean, yeah, but they're not pirates, and I mean, loggers aren't pirates
Okay.
or
sorry.
Vikings. Yes. No. Yeah, to answer your question, yeah. I mean, you're not sure where their loyalties lie, but you wouldn't imagine that loggers would be like warriors in the field. They're people that cut the trees. They're foresters. All right, so I'm going to move you. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to set up an encampment in a mossy gorge. And there's box text, which is always nice. Shoulder to shoulder with some 20 of bloodthirsty Vikings, including the Seawolf himself, your party negotiates a 1-mile path inland through a tangle of conifers and bracken until at length you achieve a narrow, steep-walled, mossy gorge. Here the Vikings will anxiously await your return as you venture forth to liberate the Seawolf's daughter. They're going to set up a camp here, hidden, obviously. And they plan on, it's pretty clear, even if they didn't tell you, that they plan on, once she's liberated, their plan is going to be to, let's say, seek revenge for the crimes committed, but they don't want to rush in with the group because they feel like that might risk her life too much. So they're here so that when you get her out, then they're going to come in and take the place out. So obviously any information you can get will be valuable as well. And as noted, the Blackbeard is looking for um, mercenaries and stuff. So he recommends that could be one way in, if you don't want to just completely go in by stealth or by he doesn't want you to go in by bared sword, because if you're going to do that, he could do that himself, and that would be too risky, he thinks.
Okay.
From Goodhilda,
Hmm?
do we know anything that she wears, like a locket or bracelet, something that we've seen her wear many times before in the past? Like a bracelet,
Sure,
earring, something, you know?
sure, yeah. So let's say that she wears something from her mother. You can tell me what it is.
Okay. It's a golden locket from her mom,
Okay.
and it has an engraving of, her name, her mom's name in it. And it's a symbol, simple, tiny locket that's about half an inch in diameter, tiny one.
Okay. Okay. So yes, you know about that,
Okay,
and she would always have that with her.
all right. So Ali's gonna say to the rest of the group, um, perhaps I could cast a certain divining magic and attempt to divine her whereabouts. We could try to locate the locket that she wears all the time, and if she's still wearing them, it'll lead us in that direction.
I
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I also have some dust here that can be used to similar effect. If we know the if the subject is known well enough, I can see within say I think 5 feet of them.
Well,
We wouldn't need that when we're close enough, but as we're uncertain which direction she lies whereabouts, perhaps we can begin here. And he goes ahead and casts locate object. And
Okay.
yeah,
Uh,
it will. I believe.
your range is
Oh,
not very far on this, though. I mean, you know that the castle is that they've the fortress that they've taken is several miles away at this point.
yeah,
I think the
actually,
range on locate objects is only like 90 feet, right? So you probably don't want to cast that until you get closer.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that's what you want to do, because, you have a pretty good idea that she's not within 90 feet of you in the middle of a forest. I mean, she might be, but it's probably not.
On he
Although
says,
Crystal Spell could tell us. Yeah.
close enough.
yeah,
Uh,
we can try to. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say we could try to once we get into the castle, Ali. But I think we should try to infiltrate as possible mercenaries before you cast a spell, because once we're in, then you'll be able to use it, or perhaps for once you teach the dust or whichever.
yes, the dust
Yep.
can actually see any distance, and we can make sure that she is alive right now. That she is safe.
Excellent. Wise as
Okay. Well,
always.
is that a spell or something on magic item?
It's the magic item, Dust of Nightmares and Vision.
Well, that doesn't sound very pleasant.
Sounds like something you use every day.
Yeah, it's like a. Oh, let's see, Dust of Nightmares. Okay, cool. All right, so all right, this is pollen of the Black Lotus, mixed with a small amount of pine sap. It may be burnt as incense by solitary magician or cleric. User experiences nightmares and visions of the most potent species. The effect akin to a sea spell, in which the image perceive the smoke and absence of the version of the person. Okay, so it takes an hour to complete, and then you have to rest for 8 hours after, right? Or you'll have -2 penalties on attack rolls, damage, and saving throws. You realize that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're willing to wait 8 hours after you cast, I mean that's So what you're talking about 9 hours
I mean,
total. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
we could. Yeah. I mean, we could just go afterwards, but I mean, this would just be to make sure that she's alive. I use spells and such, so
Hmm.
I the
Okay.
being weakened won't make that big a difference.
I mean, that's up to you. I don't know if it's necessary yet, but if you want to, you can.
I think we should just march up there.
Revna would lay a hand on Rowan's shoulder and say, my only concern is the exhaustion that you're going to feel afterwards. But you are more skilled at this than I am, so
Well, if you all are concerned, then we can go with another plan first and save the powder for later.
I got a quick question for you. Is it utterly dark right now? All hours?
Where you are, yes, because you're in this really, really thick forest. If you could get above the tree line, it's a clear sky and there's about a half moon. So it's not like super dark. It's been let's see, full moon. The full moon of Phobos, which is the one that goes every week, it goes full on Wednesday, right? So you're looking at you're looking at basically a half moon because it's Sunday. So you're looking at a half moon with Phobos, and your other moon is Selene, is about a half as well. So you got about 2 moons, each of them a half. So it's like a full moon basically, and some stars. You see Saturn out there and stuff. So yeah, you could definitely walk around in the dark without running into things, but in the trees that you're in right now, it is very dark because you're under cover of the trees. And obviously you can't light a torch really very easily because you're in a forest with branches everywhere. So everybody's kind of like, huh?
It's sort of like dusk a little bit. It's still visible.
You mean if you were outside the trees?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let's get going.
It's like a full moon in the country. Your eyes adjust to it. It's also dark, but it's been dark for 2 years, so you're probably a little bit used to it. So if you're out in the clearing, you'll be able to see decently in front of you. Not perfectly, but decently. In the trees, you're not going to be able to see very far because of the blocking the trees. All right, so you're gonna wait to do the spell, and you're gonna head to the north, or what's the plan?
I think we're not gonna do the dust, are we?
No, we're not going to do the dust right now.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
And I'll try to control my flames while we're in these woods.
That's probably a good idea. Okay. All right, so they tell you that they are setting up, they're going to set up temporary shelters here. They're like cutting down branches and making it as hidden as possible. They've got food and wine and stuff, and for several days, but they don't plan on staying here that long. He says,
Okay.
So he says, and Puka, you're a Viking, right?
Yeah.
So as you're getting ready to leave, the the sea wolf comes up to you and he puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, when you see my daughter, give her this. And he reaches out and he hands you, or told you, it's an iron bar. It's about 10 inches long, 2 inches in diameter. And if you were to take it from him, you could see that graven in ruins of Old Norse, you speak Old Norse, I'm assuming, right? Is the word Valkyristrum. And he says, if you give her this, she'll know it's from me, and she'll know what to do with it.
Okay. I shall do that.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. I mean, for a little piece of iron, it weighs about 10 pounds. Yeah, that's what he says. And he says, I trust this to you, and I trust I will have blood upon my axe soon, and my daughter back. And then he kind of smacks you on the shoulder and turns back to his men and starts, yelling at them to get stuff done.
Said it will be done.
So what is the plan? You know that the I keep calling it a castle. It's like we'll call it a castle. The castle is more or less on the water. It's on a cliff overlooking the water, which is to your east. Of course, you just came from that direction. But he said it's about 2 miles north. So, which way did you want to go? Do you want to head back towards the shore and go up, or do you want to go straight through the forest, or do you want to go some other different? Which direction would you like to go? I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, we can't see right here, so maybe we should get out of the forest. Unless
Hold on
Ali.
a second.
Go along the lakeshore.
Hold on a second. Let me divine a possible path. And then he clicks his tongue, and a large raven flies down and perches itself on a large broom that he carries. And he looks at it and says, "Fly up and scout the area for a possible trail." And the raven, it caws, "Ah!" and then flaps up in the air into the sky.
Cool. Yeah, so you're that's your raven familiar, I'm assuming. It flies up, above the tree line. These are tall, old growth type trees. It flies up between the branches. It breaks into the sky where it can see, see out around. And from the sky, it's hard to break out any kind of even game trail in this area because the trees are so thick. If anything's broken down, it's like the branches that are below. But the raven can certainly see from the air that I'm just going to open the map up because you can actually see through its eyes and stuff too, right? So you can just explain to everybody what you see. Essentially, there we go. So you can probably see all the ways to here. Essentially, what you see is, I'll say about that far. Well, so you can see that, and out here is just more woods basically. As far as you can see. So you can see that over to the north east, you see there's 5 ships in the water, in a small bay with a watchtower set up near it, and then north of that, on a cliff, is this structure out here, which is like the fortress. And of course, this is the light gray here is water, if that's not clear, and the everything is basically trees, though. You don't see a direct path. You think it's going to be a matter of, even along the beach, it's going to be slow going. Like, you're not going to be going very fast through this forest.
Yeah, he relays that information. He says, he closes his eyes for a moment and he opens up and says, "This way, if we go up north, then we're gonna come across 5 ships. Little to the north from there lies the castle. I feel that there are guards that are watching the pathway."
You're probably correct, Ali. But we want to be seen, yes? If we're going to join the troop, unless you guys want to do something else.
Nothing else for me.
I'm fine with just walking up there.
Buka, maybe you should do, you or Revna, you're both Vikings and very fierce looking. Maybe you should talk to them about being mercenaries when we get there. The scars are very impressive.
Yes, it's quite a draw.
Well, maybe to a man like Blackbeard it will be.
Buka is he's a berserker, and among the Vikings, berserkers do command a certain amount of respect and reverence. So it would probably be best if they spoke to him versus someone they may view as a thief.
Fair play. Okay. Do you mind taking points, Buka?
No, I don't mind.
Okay.
But are you sure you want me talking?
She smiles at him and says, "I know you've gained a little wisdom over the past few years."
Well, I know enough not to talk. That's the wisdom I
have a feeling the kind of wisdom that you possess is very similar to the kind this Blackbeard man possesses.
Just be a Viking, for God's sakes.
I have faith in you.
Yeah, I can do this.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Think that. All right. So everybody, you guys get your stuff up. So are you gonna walk back towards the shore and then walk out the pebbly beach, or you want to walk through the woods? What's your plan? What's the direct route? What's the route that you would like to take through the forest?
I have no problem walking in either direction. So
Yeah, I was gonna say whatever's the easiest.
Okay.
That sounds like,
Yeah, you want to take the most direct path?
yeah.
Yes.
I guess what I would say is that the chance of getting lost is a lot less if you're near the water because you can just follow the water up. Whereas if you just go straight up, you might find yourself off by a bit. So if you want to do that, you can just walk back the way you came. It just takes a little bit longer, basically. Just take a little bit longer route.
but we do have
right.
this bird that could keep us on track.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, the bird familiar, regardless of distance, I could see through the bird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just can't really see you from because you're in the tree line. But certainly you can fly down, get your spot, then fly back up, and so yeah, that's not a problem. It's not going to make a difference. All right, so cool. So let's start heading that way. Crystal, roll a d6 as you head back towards the watchtower.
Oh, of course, you asked me.
Yeah.
3.
Well, there you go. All right, yeah. So you head back towards the water, the way you came, and you end up back on that pebbly beach, down by the boat again, and that way you can take the kind of the beach up the side. Seems pretty. You hear animals and stuff, but nothing gets really close to you. You're probably making enough noise that you scare away most of the wildlife, and don't attract anything that's wild in the wrong way, shall we say? Luca, Mike, roll a d6 for me.
4.
4, nice. Winning number. Good. Okay. Yeah, so you walk along the beach until you get to basically where you can see that pebbly beach ends and it hits the tree line again. It starts, you're on the water, but like the trees it's like a bit of a cliff. So you have to walk through a bit of forest again. But again, it's like you're making time. The moon's out. We don't really seem to encounter anything too nasty. The occasional bird flies by. The ravens keeping track so you guys don't get lost. Nikki, roll a d6.
Okay. 2.
2. Roll percentile for me.
Oh, okay. 87.
That's how much gold we find.
Right, exactly. Oh, and a d6.
And D6. 1.
Oh, okay, that's fine. All right, so you are, and actually roll me, roll another d6 for me.
Another D6. 3.
Okay, so 1. Oh, you. Okay, well, there you go. Okay, one more time to see if you're surprised when this giant tick falls out of the tree.
Ew.
It surprises on 1 through 3.
I rolled a 2, so yep.
2. All right, yeah. So it falls onto you. It may or may not hit you, of course. So you guys are kind of making your way through the forest, back into the woodly part, looking around, and then just all of a sudden you feel this weight. I mean, it's a giant tick, so it's like as big as like a small dog. It like lands on your, well, maybe lands on you. We'll see if it hits. I doubt that hits anything.
My AC is 3 now.
Yeah. Yeah, it hits nothing. Yeah, so it literally falls like on the ground. You just like step outside because you hear the noise crack, and this giant tick lands on the ground, and it goes because that's what giant ticks do. And you are faced with the giant tick. It's the size of a small dog.
Jesus.
Yeah, you got there's trees everywhere, but you guys are kind of like whoa, and yeah, let's just go through quickly and see what everybody wants to do. Ronsic, do you see a giant tick fall? Would you like to do anything, or what would you like to? I should say.
Bell.
Okay, Ababuka.
Melee.
All right, Vanessa.
Melee.
Okay, Ali.
Grabs his broom and flies out.
Okay, you're gonna move, and Ramna.
Melee.
Okay, Helene is going to draw her hammer and she's gonna look up and make sure no more are falling out of the skies. But she'll basically stay on watch. All right, so the Tick's obviously going to attack Pinesta. Go ahead and roll initiative since it's on you, Nikki.
Okay.
You got a 2.
We got a 4.
All right, you go on first. So movement happens first, I believe. Oh, no, melee happens first. All right, wow, okay. We're about to get hammered. Booga.
Squish.
Oh, my God. Okay, yeah. That definitely hits and chinks off the armor and takes a piece of flesh falls off, and you can actually see like kind of a little blood ooze out, but it's kind of that like weird greenish black blood. Pinesta.
Okay. Oh, nat 20.
Hello.
That's how we start. Roll a
That's right.
d6 and see what. Let's roll a d6 and see what kind of crit it is.
Okay. 5.
5. So for a thief type, that's double damage. So times 2 damage. So go ahead and roll your damage and multiply by 2.
So 7 times 2 is 14.
Okay.
Wow.
How do you destroy this? Tick?
Poor innocent Tick.
Boys?
Yeah, poor innocent.
It's just trying to feed.
She's like, I hate bugs and I don't want that disease, she says.
Yeah.
And she just runs it through. Basically, she takes the flat of her long sword and just squishes it. Yeah.
Wacky.
And it just guts spray out from its abdomen as I squish it to the ground.
Nice. Yeah, the giant tick falls before the mighty party of high-level adventurers. Got to start off strong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole thing takes all of 10 seconds. This thing falls out of the tree. You step back. Buko slams it with his weapon, and then
Squish it.
and then you stick it with your longsword and smack. And it's just like. At this time, Helene says, "I'm assuming you're not going to cast your spell, right? Since it died, Runsage."
Oh no, I'm not going to cast my spell if I can help it.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to cast it. How about that happened so fast? I'm not gonna. How about Lee? Are you still leaving?
Yeah, he's hovering
Yeah.
on his broom, and he comes
Yeah.
down.
So you start to go up in the air, and Helene says, "I think I see movement in the branches up there. There might be more up there. We should probably move."
Let's move.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you guys start to move past where this nest is. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm good with that. I don't like the little ones. God knows, gods know I don't like the big ones.
Exactly.
And she kind of shudders.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
So these are the big ones, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, and as you're moving past, you kind of push aside some branches and move past. You actually see a heavily desiccated body of a very large deer, about maybe 10 feet further down, away from where you were. So kind of looking up in the trees. Still, Helena's like, yeah, let's keep moving. As you're kind of moving through. Cool. All right, yeah, so that all happened really quickly, and as you're moving up through the forest, yeah, roll me a d6, see if we encounter anything else before you get to the...
Window to pop out here. Got 3.
3, okay. Cool. Nothing seems to be bothering y'all as you kind of come out of the forest. Right kind of at the edge of the forest here, you can see the forest opening up, and you can actually see the bay with the boats in there and the watchtower. I'm sorry, did I say there was 5 boats? There's 4 boats there. There's a Amazon carrack. Oh no, I'm sorry. There's there's several boats. There's an Amazon Carrack, a Viking Fresrigs, 3 of those, a Viking Nar, and a Viking Longship Large Drakkar, like the one you guys came on. You do see that there is a tower, a watchtower, clearly. There are some men up there. The tower seems to be, I mean, I know it's drawn like that was a lot of open space. It seems like it's got just like slits to look through, like it's just not very big windows. And there is essentially no means to get up from what you can tell. But of course, having been around long enough, you probably figure the watchtower has some kind of trap door in the bottom. It is about 60 feet tall, with a 15-foot. Oh no, excuse me. Okay, so it's only 20 feet up. So it's 20 feet up for the first floor, to the floor of it. It's a 15 by 15-foot box, basically sitting up off the ground. And like I said, there's little slits where clearly whoever's inside is probably watching. As you kind of break through the forest and come out, you see the boats there, and yeah, let me just see if they even see. Yeah, nobody calls out or anything when you kind of pop your head out of the forest. You do see to the north and east of the tower that there is like a path, basically. That hex is kind of a slope going up. So like from where you're sitting right now and looking at this bay, that structure, that fortress is up above you, like about 200 feet. So like the path goes up to it.
Oh, shall we just continue towards the fortress?
Yes, we may be challenged by the watchtower, and just be wary they just don't shoot first and ask questions later.
I don't think they will. They're probably drunk. I can go first if you wish.
Yeah,
Do you want
you're
me
the
to-
one who's going to talk to them. So
Okay.
From the eye in the sky, how many guards do we see?
Unless you want the Raven to land and look right in the window, they're not going to be able to see. They don't see anything. Doesn't see anything. There's just these like slits.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, do you want the Raven to like round right in the windowsill?
No.
Okay.
I'm just going to start
Sorry,
walking
no.
down the path.
Okay. Yeah, and in fact, as you're kind of flying, when you close your eyes, look through the Raven's eyes. You don't even see any light coming from the inside, the interior. So whether they have their stuff turned off or whatever, there's no light or anything. And yeah, you walk past. You guys walk past to get to the path. Nobody stops you. It unless you're making a huge amount of noise, you're able to kind of just walk by without drawing any attention from anybody.
nice.
That was simple enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's good to have luck on your side, right?
That's a little too simple.
Yes, I'm sure things will get complicated very soon, but for now, we're all right.
Yeah.
No,
We'll
no.
see.
Why would you think that?
And this has been
All right.
around enough to know.
Oh, I don't know.
All right. So let's see. I have box decks. Atop a high cliff. Oh, I love my box decks. Atop a high cliff overlooking Brigand's Bay, you see ancient crumbling walls of a great castle complex, a ruin seemingly from a bygone age. Breached walls have been fitted with timbers, effectively restoring the defensive integrity of the edifice. Similarly, the old towers have been restored to operation, and you can see, because again, it's kind of dusky because the moon's out, whence armed guards practice vigilance. You can see people walking on the tower even from this distance, even from like a quarter mile away as you're working your way up. Within the ancient walls, tendrils of smoke curl to the sky. So actually, from below, like once you've walked kind of out of the view of the watchtower, so you're up the path a little bit, you actually reach a point where like when you're going up a hill and there's another structure on top, like you kind of get that last glimpse of it with the moons behind it. You see some guards walking on the wall, and then if you go further, you're basically going to be out of view of it again because you're going to kind of be climbing the cutbacks that lead to get up to it. So that's kind of your view of it before you start to head up the path. You do see that there's a path that just kind of goes right up. So if you just want to go right up to the thing, otherwise the front kind of face of the structure is more or less sitting on the side of a cliff. So it'd be very, obviously it's possible to scale that, but it would be very difficult. You do have a path to follow if you're not trying to be too, if you're not trying to be sneaky, then you certainly can just do that.
Yeah, Buka's not going to try to be sneaky. It's just going to
Okay,
be carefree about it.
nice. All right, yeah. So you guys, you start walking up, and again, this switchbacks, and you kind of take your time so you don't fall off the side and go 200 feet into the water, because that would be terrible. And you break the top surface of the cliff, and you're looking out, and you see this structure just as you thought. It's basically looks like a very old structure, possibly Hyperborean, that went through the ravages of time. Some of the walls have been destroyed, but then they've been rebuilt with timber. And you do see 2 functional gates. One is, I'm going to go into that map actually. Okay. I guess I gotta. Now it's very dark out. I probably should have done this first. Let's do it this way. See 2 gates.
An eclipse.
Yeah, exactly. Can't see anything. I can't see. Okay. Let's do it this way. I think this will work. All right. This is demonstrate that his homework, and then this first. All right, and finally. Okay, so because of your approach, you're coming in like on the basically this road right here, the number 2 road. This one over here. You're on this map, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and you can see that. Let me reveal some more. There's like a, towers with the gate, just like there. And yeah, you're just gonna walk right up, right? Let's see. Let me see. It does in fact say what happens at the party. Just walk right up. Yep.
Before we walk up, Rowan Sage will say, Ali, why don't you send your Black Falcon, up to see what's inside that place?
Yes. The bird's actually on the sky already.
Yeah,
One
you
of
notice that the men walking on the walls are holding heavy crossbows.
it's just a black raven flying over it. It's gonna
Right.
fly over. Yeah.
Right.
Fly
Okay.
fly high over it.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So not get too close. Yeah, totally fine. So you fly over. You see, I'm not going to reveal the whole inside of it, but you see basically there's a large building on the inside. I'll do that in a second. But it is most of the interior is taken by a big building. The building is very much in contrast um, to basically the outside walls, because it is very much a classic as you would know it, from what little experience you might have. It's kind of a classic Viking type building. It's got the construction of it is of that style. It's let's see what it says here. Walls built with stone bricks and layered with turf. The roof composed of cedar bark blanketed with sod. Windowless. And you see a stable, which I'll reveal in a second. And a smokehouse. So you know what smokehouse because there's smoke coming out of it. Let's see, the smokehouse is over here. You get a quick glimpse of it. You're standing there doing your Beastmaster thing. Tell me what you see.
Are there any pile of garbage or rotting, food or anything like that?
You would need to get pretty close to see anything like that. It is, you see like a tunnel vision, barely see through the familiar. It's not like you have perfect vision. So I'm gonna say you can't tell that from here. But you don't see nothing super obvious at least. There's nothing. If there is something, it's not big. I guess is what I'll say.
Yeah, he just, says, do whatever you feel is natural for you. And then he releases the familiar from his direct control.
I'm just gonna reveal this because you're all gonna see it eventually. It's not anything that hidden here. I should have done this before, sorry. Roll 20. Love adventure. Okay, so basically, what's covered there is the building that I just got described. You do see. Oh no! Don't do that. No, whatever. You see a slice in the middle of it. You would see, I guess. Well, I haven't let you in yet. See, as you approach again, you see these men walking across the wall. They are wielding heavy crossbows. And when you get about 50 feet or so away, they start to converge when they see you coming. When they get about 50 feet or so away, they call down to you. And they say, they actually have something they say very specifically. What is your business here with Blackbeard, the greatest king of Brigand's Bay?
Oh, we're sell swords, looking for coin.
Oh, well, that's good. We can always use more swords. Hopefully you won't fall as fast as the last ones. And they kind of look at each other and laugh. And they say, let them in. And they kind of, then they keep their crossbows kind of on you, but they don't, they've got them up. They kind of just lower them and they kind of just watch you. And a door opens. The gate opens. Two men.
They're very unassuming, Buka. Is it normal?
They said they're looking for men to fight. You're going to let anyone come in.
Well, even me in my tiny frame.
Yeah, they'll pay you after you die.
Maybe they'll let me cook for them.
Yeah, they won't care.
And he smiles and just follows Buka.
This is one where you get paid with the spoils, I bet.
Probably.
Right. So as you kind of walk in, so two guys open up the doors. You hear the crossbowman call down to you, and he says, "I warn you, if you misspeak of your reasons to be here or of your history, the king will know, for he has the ear of a powerful sorceress."
Oh, witch, huh?
Yes, don't get on her bad side. She enjoys fresh meat in her stew, if you know what I mean.
I see. Well, thanks for the warning. So, where's the captain of the guard?
One of the guys at the bottom takes you. Yeah, one of the guys at the bottom comes to you. Says, "I'll take you in to see the captain. Keep those weapons sheathed."
Yes. They said, I need beds.
You think you'll sleep so soon? First, you must drink and eat.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that.
All right, cool. Yeah, they look at you and he laughs, and yeah, they're gonna bring you in. They bring you into.
Ali's gonna go up next to Panesta and says, witches, they put their potions and imbue their magic in food and drinks. It would be best if we stick to the food and drinks that we brought along with us.
That is wise, Ali. I've had bad experiences with food in the past. So, from strange sources. And you are right.
Watch for Buka, because if it is their tradition to partake in drinks and food, it'll be difficult for him to refuse that.
I will try, but not many of us can part Buko when he sees a meal that he likes.
That's certain.
But that is wise. Be careful of the food and the drink.
All right, so yeah, they're gonna walk you through. There's a couple of guys. They are actually the men that let you in. Are just kind of, they look like common foot soldiers. They're dressed in leather armor. They've got small shields with short spears, and on their hips are swords. Two of them. There's four down there actually, but two walk with you. One in front, leading the way, and one follows the group. They lead you past that number 8. Which is just the entranceway. It's a big, heavy wooden door into 10, which is a foyer. Cloaks and furs hung to dry here. Braziers in the southeast corner. There's also a place of work. Butter is being churned, flour ground, soft cheese manufactured. So there's 3 men and 4 women here doing various work, hanging cloaks and stuff. It's not raining or anything, so they don't stop to ask you to hang your cloaks up there. But they walk you through that large door that leads into 13, which is Fire Hall. This is clearly a busy area. There's a bunch of people in here, like 10 people in here. But they're cleaning. There's a large hearth running along the center, so that's the fire in the center. So when you walk in here, you get that blast of warmth, which is very nice. I mean, the whole place is warm relative to the outside, but it's like almost hot in here, and you can see people with like, they're basically stripped down out of their armor. People are resting, sitting on the ground. Some of them look like they're just getting up. You do hear actually some voices and such as you walk through all the way to the end where there's a door, and then they opened up into this room 16, which is a large feasting hall. Let's see. You are brought to the hall, and there's box text. God, I love box text. All right. So you come into
favorite.
It's my favorite. You see a massive post and beam hall spanned by a scorched pine grand table that stretches 40 feet in length and is flanked by long benches. The hall is thronged with a motley assemblage of unsavory individuals. Over 20 battle-scarred men and women, all armed to the teeth. This place is raucous with activity. Roaring and laughter, boisterous chairs, mugs slamming and foaming over, empty wine bottles clattering on the floor, braziers smoking, roasted pork meat steaming, body odor wafting, and deep exhalations of whiskey breath. Servants fit out in and out of the hallway, clearing plates, filling mugs, and enduring general abuse, as they always do, right? Above the din, a raised platform holds a pair of cedar-carved thrones, each embellished with the dare antlers. One throne is vacant, the other occupied by a burly, black-bearded beast of a man. This one appears to be brooding. His haunted eyes burning with unquenchable black flames of the deepest melancholy. Hunched in the shadows by his elbow lurks a shriveled old crone with leathery dark skin and knotted gray hair laced with bone. On occasion she whispers in his ear of the man, which prompts brief recognition in the brute's close-set eyes before black thoughts consume him again. So when you come in here, you see all this. You spot the guy up there at the top. They're partying like crazy. The man that leads you in kind of pushes some guys out of the way and gives you a spot at the table. He says, "Eat, drink, get ready, for soon the wedding will happen, and then we ride again to take some blood on to the Viking." And he slams down his fist on the table. He grabs a hunk of meat, and then he walks back out to go back to his guard duty. So yeah, you're basically put around this table. There's people everywhere. Clearly, they don't strip anybody of their weapons. The place is loaded with, anywhere between 40 and 50 look to be some kind of warriors. They're kind of partying it up, while the large man sits on the throne at the far end. What would you like to do? Would you like
Well,
to
I guess I should make an introduction.
Yes. And I look at Ali and Rowan Teach, and I'm just like, kind of with my head towards the crone, because if she has magic, they may need to try to either sense it or counter it in some way.
She leans closer and whispers to Penesta. It is very likely that she is indeed a witch.
And we must be doubly careful. Go ahead, Buka.
And I'll make my way up towards Blackbeard.
All right, yeah, you start to move forward, and when you do, you actually see a very large, large as in wide, not so tall, only 5'5", woman. She pushes some men out of the way. Their mugs spill, and they kind of look for a second, like angry. Then they see her, and they step back. And she looks at you. She is wearing chainmail armor. She has two fakadas on her waist, and a hand axe like on over each shoulder, like this in little leather cases. And she looks at you and she says, "You must be the new people."
Yes, and who are you?
I can tell because you don't stink so much yet.
Well,
I am
it's been a long hike.
Yeah. I am Chet, a lieutenant to Blackbeard, the king.
Chet?
Chet.
Chet.
You've never met a Pictish woman before?
A Pictish
we'll see
woman?
if we can...
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
A bit
Yes.
Pictish, but
I see.
yes.
You look like
usually
you've...
painted in blue. Where is your bluing?
She smiles a little bit. She's missing 2 teeth. And she says, I'm going to like you. What is your purpose here, truly? And she kind of and when she says that really loud, you notice it up on the stage, some 40 feet away. The crone seems to raise her head and look in your direction.
Truly?
Truly,
Why,
what is your purpose here?
I'm here to meet the princess.
Huh.
Oh no.
The princess.
Yes. Well, Blackbeard's bride.
You
I
wish
hear
to
she's
steal his bride?
quite. Do I wish to steal her? No, I don't wish to steal her at all.
Well,
I
good luck
would
with that
not
face.
do that.
Oh, I believe you.
No, I'm a
But
sellsword.
she points at Ali and she says, "What skills do you have to offer?"
I clean after my master, Buka.
Oh, you're a servant.
Yes, madame.
Someone take this servant to the back. And you see a couple of men like kind of put their hands on your shoulder.
Master Buka, what shall I do?
Go easy with this one. He's fragile. I'm still breaking him in.
Oh, he's that kind of servant. I understand. Well,
No, not in that. But I'd rather keep him around, just so that he gets used to this. He's not used to our ways yet.
he will be soon.
Yes.
Yeah. She looks at she kind of moves forward and says, kind of in a lowish voice to Revna, and she says, let me ask you something. Are you morally bound against doing the darkest of deeds?
It just depends on whether or not the darkest of deeds serves my needs or not.
She laughs. She says, you will be rich, and you have your choice of mates. And she smacks you on the shoulder. And then she says to all of you, it is unwise to address Blackbeard until he addresses you. You'll notice outside several heads laying in a pile. Those are those who open their mouth when they shouldn't have. So eat, drink. You've come at a fortuitous time.
I
As
see.
you seem to know, there is a wedding to be happen soon.
But when do we discuss the coin?
The what?
Business. We are sell swords. I'll enjoy this party. Believe me, I will enjoy this, and I don't want to spoil the mood. But we are sell swords.
Are you not a Viking?
Yes.
Right. You take what you can plunder, but never more than the king. That is the only contract you need. And then she spits in her hand and reaches out like to shake.
And I'll spit in mine.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Okay. She shakes and then she reaches down on the table and picks up a random mug that's full of some kind of drink and she just starts drinking it. And then she walks away.
And I look back and I wink.
Well done, Buka.
Picks.
Yeah, so the party's happening. What would you guys like to do?
I want to dance.
Oh, your mic is getting crazy.
Yeah,
No.
more and more.
Can you hear me okay?
No, you're like robot-y.
You sound like this the whole time you're talking.
A little better?
Yes.
That's better. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Toby.
I want to dance.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you can dance if you want to.
Or for the wedding. I don't know. I mean, it really depends on where they're taking me, but yeah.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely if you just start dancing, I'm sure there's people that will start. They start singing some songs about pillaging and stealing and various Viking things and clap their hands.
And as people are singing, Ali, he looks at the fire that's burning around and says, this is celebration, and my master Buka does like me when I start to dance. And he starts dancing around, but in fact, he's doing a dance of beguilement. And
Okay.
the caveat is that people don't know that there's an underlying enchantment, and he could basically capture the attention of up to 7 people, one of which, if he dances for 1 full turn, should be able to plant the suggestion as per the spell.
Okay, so you're just trying to dance in the room around these people.
Yeah, as yeah.
Okay. That requires 1 turn to perform. Then they get a sorcery saving throw. Okay. A round of fire. I mean, there's not really a fire in here. There's some braziers burning. But I'll give it to you. For little victims entranced, first staring dumbfounded, then enthusiastically desiring to please. Cool. As long as you remain in the presence of the victim. Nice. All right. Yeah. You start dancing. Cool. You're dancing. People seem to be paying attention. They're getting excited by it. What's everybody else doing?
I'm just going to kind of lean up against the wall between Pinesta and Rowan Siege and just kind of softly speaking, saying, as a Viking, I am no stranger to men who stink of battle, but these people, oh my gods, people who, for a fortress so close to the water, you would think. And then she just kind of reaches up and tickles her nose a little bit, shakes her head, and drifts off.
We're doing it for the sea wolf. I'll get out my little flute and start kind of playing music along with the, for the party. But I would like to stay in a place where I can kind of keep an eye on that crone.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you stay, I mean, you could. They're raised up, so you can see them.
Okay.
Neither Blackbeard nor the crones seem to be paying too much attention to you guys anymore.
Okay.
Lots of people are dancing and singing and stuff, so they're not, that it's a party. Yonk, go ahead and roll a d6. I want to see if you get your thing off before this event happens, because an event's going to happen, but you might be able to finish your thing first if you beat my 3.
Roll d6.
Oh,
3.
okay. Do it again. Good, we're the same. 5. Okay.
4.
Yeah. So yeah, you're about 8 minutes into it, and people are starting to get glassy eyed and staring at you, and all's good. And then you hear boom, 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 and everybody just stops. Literally almost like silence within 5 seconds. And they look, and you can see that Blackbeard is standing. I'm assuming you're going to start dancing at that point, but you can tell me.
I stopped dancing.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you can certainly go for it. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
he stands up, and you see actually the crone is kind of looking up at him, and he says, "Sakaros, where is my bride? The night grows long, and this drink is bitter." And you see a man that's kind of at the other end of the space. He is Ixion. He was slinking around in the corner. You see him kind of pop up. He jumps up on a stool, and he points to one of just the general kind of one of the guys that brought you in, like a guard. Basically, you can tell he's on duty, even though he's still a little drunk. And he says, "Check on the bride. Find us what the delay is." Things roll downhill, right? So he starts yelling at that guy, who then runs out the door. And everybody's just kind of quiet for a little bit. Then there's a murmuring starts back up a little bit, and people are very, some really drinking their drinks, trying to figure out why, what's going on. So do you want to do anything while he's gone, or are you just gonna wait and see what happens, or what's the?
I'm going to go out the way that the guy went.
You gonna follow him?
Yeah.
Okay. What about else?
What is the crone doing?
She is kneeling on the ground, looking up at Blackbeard.
Okay, she hasn't moved.
Yeah, she looked a little surprised when he jumped up. She was startled because he was just sitting there. All of a sudden, he jumped up because you were watching her the whole time. So
I'm gonna follow Buka. I'm gonna follow Buka.
okay, cool. Anybody else?
Ali's gonna look at Panesta and says, "Should we stay here?"
I think if we all follow the guy, someone's gonna notice. Oh, I'm going to stay
conga
here.
line.
Yeah.
Perhaps you could start to play your music again.
Yes. I will do that so that maybe it'll distract people. Music for the incoming bride, and I will start to play a song.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm gonna do the extra roll here. Ooh, what's your charisma? You got a bonus?
Yeah. 15. So +1.
Okay. Yeah. So he kind of just looks at you, almost a little puzzled, and then sits back down. And people start to they start to talk a little bit more and listen to the music. It starts to get a little bit louder. On the hallway, roll a d6 there, Buka and Rowan Siege, to see if anybody sees you.
4.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys head out. You see this guy. He goes out into the main area. Basically area 13. He goes by Oh, he goes down here. If you can see that, there's like a little door down there. He basically goes to the south through it. He basically walks up to a door that's there. He kind of looks at it. I mean, you're right behind him because you said it right away. So he kind of looks at it for a second, and then he kind of like reaches his hand out and he kind of touches it, and you almost like you can see that he sees the doors open a little bit, and then he kind of opens it slowly and looks in there. He looks. He goes, oh no, and he turns and he runs back past you, kind of just like because there's more than just you out here, like there's other people, so he doesn't even really seem to notice you guys. As he runs past you, leaving the door open. Down here, he runs past you back into the room 16, basically. Did you want to do anything when he runs past you, or what's your plan?
I'm gonna go look what he saw.
Okay. How about Ron Siege?
Ron Siege is gonna follow Buka.
All right. So you guys come down here, and there's a room here. All right. I'll just read what he says, because basically that's what the guy's got to yell into the room. This is a bed chamber bedecked with the finest furs in Hyperborea: bear, ermine, fox, and vermis. We know that's a problem. Trophy heads of rocks, cave bears, lions, reindeer, ground sloth, saber-toothed tiger are mounted on throughout. The perimeter is lined with lidded storage benches that curl into a master bed overarching a pair of mammoth tusks. The door was open but as I said, you actually, as you kind of walk past, you see there's only a handle. There's not even a key on it. But here we go. The door to this room is ajar. Looking in, you see a scene of butchery. 2 handmaidens have been beaten bloody and unconscious, and 2 guards have been slain. One with a slit throat, the other disemboweled from the groin to the sternum. There's a tremendous amount of blood pooled about the floor and soaking into the bedding at the far end of the chamber. Goodhilda is nowhere to be seen. So you see that, and as you do, you hear, and everyone else hears, as this guard runs into 16, and he yells, "The bride is gone! She's gone! Murder! Murder! The bride is gone!" And Blackbird stands up from the stage and starts making his way down, pushing people out of the way. So what is everybody doing at this point when you hear all that? Let's go around. Ron Siege?
Ron Siege is going to say to Buka, perhaps we shouldn't be here when the others arrive.
Well, that's fine. You can leave if you want. I'm going to look as if I'm investigating. We haven't done anything wrong.
I shall stand by and pretend to be your advisor.
Okay, so you're going to go in there and kind of investigate?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just going to, I'm literally, I mean, everything's clean. My weapons aren't bloodied or anything. I'm just going to kneel down as if any lawkeeper in a village would, and kind of look and pick through it and see what is going on.
Okay. Yeah, so you get down there and start looking at the area. And you're standing by Rowan Siege. How about in the space, Penesta?
Oh, certainly not going to play that flute anymore. And I suppose I could start a funeral dirge, but I'm not going to do that yet.
Too soon.
I will. Yeah, too soon, right? I will put my flute away and say, "What do you mean gone?"
To the guy that said that.
Yeah.
He says, "There's been a murder. There's been a murder."
Murder most foul, my lord. I will yell up to Blackbeard.
Okay. Ali, what are you doing as he's approaching?
Ali was about to dance, but then he stops right away, and he looks at some, garbage, some piece of food that fell down on the floor, and immediately, like a servant or something, he stoops down and tries to pick that up, keeping his profile very low and unassuming.
Okay, perfect. How about Ravna? What's your plan in there, Rush?
So Pinesta was in room 16 still, correct?
Yep. Yeah, you guys are all in
Yeah.
16.
All right, yeah, so that's right.
She's
Yeah,
calling
well,
out to Blackbeard. He's not quite at her yet.
yeah. I mean, I don't. Revna sees nothing to add. She just kind of sits there and goes, "Please God, tell me they didn't have anything to do with it. Please God, tell me they didn't have anything to do with it." And she just takes a position close to Pinesta's side and goes on her guard.
Okay. Yeah, he comes, Blackbeard comes up when you say that, and he says, he actually grabs you by the shoulder press and kind of spins you towards him. He says, what do you know of these things? He kind of looks at you.
Well, I know that your man there ran in here yelling murder. I want to make sure that you were aware. Somebody has been killed this night in your fortress.
He kind of looks like pushes, you back as he moves, and then he says, bring her. And you are flanked by a couple of people. One of which is the Ixian who yelled to the other guy, and the other one is Chit, the one who talked to you before. They kind of get behind you and kind of, let's say gently insist that you follow Blackbeard.
I'll follow him.
Okay. All right, yeah. So you guys go out into that hallway into number 13. What about the two that are still back in the space? Are you guys going to wait there and see what happens, or
No, I'm gonna go with her.
Revenant? Okay, you're going to follow. How about Ali?
Ali's gonna keep on picking up, garbage from the floor and wait for his lord Buka.
Oh, you're gonna stay in 16. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you follow. They go into 13, then down. They take that pathway down to 17. So while this has been going on, Buka, you're down on the ground. You can see actually that there are some handprints, bloody handprints down near the bed. And as you kind of look at where they are, you can see that they kind of lead to one of the benches at the end. And at the bench, there's like a little, like a toggle, like you might use to open like a trapdoor or something. It's been kind of exposed, and there's like a fur half hanging over it.
Okay.
Yeah. And you hear people coming from, and of course, Ron sees you see people starting to come.
And these handmaids have been killed by a blade. Is that
the handmaids are not dead? They are knocked unconscious. The two soldiers were killed by a blade. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell the handmaids were knocked like over the head with a blunt object, probably. Not killed, and the two soldiers were killed. One was cut throat, and the other one was sliced groin to sternum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm going to wait until someone else comes in.
Okay.
Who's more official.
Okay.
And then I will point out to them the toggle. And I will click it and see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. So Blackbeard comes in, followed by, shortly behind Pinesta, followed by two more people. And you would notice, actually, as you were following Revna, that about 7 more people joined. There's a kind of a motley crew behind. Most of the other people stayed in the feasting hall, and they're kind of murmuring and talking. You would know that, Ali, that they're just kind of like, what could happen, whatever. So, so Blackbeard comes in, and he looks and he says, what is happening here?
And I said, sir, this appears to have happened. So it appears that the guards have been struck down, and the handmaids were knocked unconscious. And
As
if you
you
look over
as you
here,
as you say that, so as you're kind of explaining it, one of the handmaids you hear her kind of moan. She's like, and he kind of looks at her and he says, "What happened?" Kind of, you know how they do that, right? He turns away. He says, "What happened?" And she says, "Your bride, she struck us when we weren't looking, and oh, oh." And she's the dead guard. She's like, she slayed the guards. Oh, what a fearsome warrior. You see a little bit of respect in the voice, and she's like, "They're terrible, my lord." You know. And then he says, "What were you saying?" to Buka.
and he said, I see some bloody handprints, but I believe they went back out the door.
Ha! He kind of looks around. Yes, we'll need to look around. And he turns around to the men that came in with Panesta. And he says, what do you know of murder? I ask again.
Again, it was your man who ran into the hall. I just wanted to make sure you heard. I don't know anything about murder. Well, except how to catch murderers and bring them to justice.
We were enjoying your hospitality, nothing more.
How do you know of capturing murderers?
Well, I've done some work for leaders in the past in other places. Where there are leaders, there are always murders.
Let's see. He kind of rolls his tongue around in his mouth. He says, "You will take 3 men and investigate this." And he points to the people, the Ched and the other guy that stood up, and then the other people. He says, "Each of you take 10 men. Close the gates, make sure no one leaves. You follow those handprints," he points at Buka. And then he kind of turns and he says, "I must consult with Saga." And he turns and walks out.
Okay. We shall investigate.
Sadka, I guess, or Sadka that was. Yeah. So they basically the nine people, what they're called, the wolf pack. So I'll just do that. The wolf pack all leave to get their soldiers to investigate the exterior, and you are left. Well, you are given three men to work with you, Panesta, and Buka. You're standing in the room. So yeah, you get these 3 cell swords. They're like half drunk in leather armor, and they're like, "What should we do?"
Well, Buka, you said you saw bloody handprints?
Yes. How well do you know these men?
These
These
men?
3.
I look at him and I smile and I say, not really all that well.
Maybe we should have them search down the exterior
Okay.
while we worry about the interior.
Leather armor. I'll say,
Yeah, they're in leather armor. Yeah, the one of the handmaiden too, who's got a smashed head. She says, "The bride was injured. The guard, he stabbed her.
guard
I thought that
stabbed her?
yes,
And she stabbed the guards.
she cut the first. Well, this is not appropriate, of course, but she took the blade from the first guard and cut him from the groin to the sternum, and then she engaged the second in sword play. It was beautiful until she was stabbed.
And then what happened?
Well, then my eyes blackened, as she had cracked us over the head with the vase earlier. But I don't blame her. To be free, to be free.
Maybe we should have these men bring these women to a healer to make sure that they are okay. Damage to the head can be,
Very disoriented. Yes, yes.
Yes.
I will look at them and I'll say, the men, and I'll say, these women need healing and help. Do you know who can help them?
Oh, yes, we know what to do with women and healers. Come,
No.
there is plenty of ale.
No, I don't believe you.
Nothing cures wounds like some fresh ale.
Nope. And I'll say, I don't think so. The women will stay with us. You will bring the healers here to us.
No, we don't need more people in this room.
Well, that's true.
So put them out in the hallway then, but go get the healers.
No, we don't. I feel very uncomfortable adding more people to this room.
All right.
I
How about
don't.
this?
Not the room, Buka.
How about we
I'll
put
go.
everybody out of the room
That's what I just said.
that isn't with us?
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go with the men and the women to the healers.
Okay.
No. How about you stay here and you send them out of the room, and then
Because
we lock the door.
Because I don't trust these men with these women. And I won't be party to that sort of behavior.
You're
Okay.
still in room 17, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the women and just escort them out into area 13, which is out of the room,
Right.
and set them over there by the fire and tell those others to go get the healers right now. And then I'm gonna give them like the serious hairy eyeball.
And I will bend over and hit that little switch.
And I guess I'll stay then.
Okay. They seem very confused, but they go get the healers.
Yes,
In which I take both hands and just kind of go, and this.
I'm a thief. I can pick locks. I'll get back in that room.
And this is why I want us in here alone.
Yeah, you
I
can see there's a
understand,
little.
Buka.
Yeah. As you're looking at it now, because you have more time to investigate, you go and look at the toggle. You touch it. It's actually covered in blood as well, like in the backside of it. So somebody with a bloody hand must have toggled it before or touched it.
So I know I'm not the most subtle person, but this.
No, I understand. I want to make sure that nobody's being further hurt by this. And if we can, those women come with us when we leave.
Okay, if you think that it's okay to take the women with us, I just think we could probably do better without them. And
Well, I just meant if we can, because they want to be free.
this is the task that we need to accomplish.
I
I have
understand.
this 10-pound weight in the back of the center of my back that's reminding me that we need to get to, this young woman.
All right, I understand.
I'm just saying. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Believe me, they're probably too drunk to know what to do with them anyway right now.
All right. Then let's,
Okay. What's going on with Ali? He's still in there cleaning?
Yeah, he's actually picking up like dirty dishes, and he picks them up and tries to carry them out as if he's a servant, and heads over to the kitchen. And basically, he's looking for a place where he could be all by himself, either that place or the outhouse or someplace nearby. And
yeah, I mean, if you come out of the Great Hall, you would walk past. Of course, you see the Revenant bringing those women out and putting them there. All of these. Hold on, let me just check some second.
if possible,
Like how alone do you want to be?
he wants to basically, if there's a outhouse or someplace that he could go in, he's gonna go ahead and go in there and cast locate object for that
Okay.
lock we discussed earlier.
Gotcha. So you're looking for, okay, that's fair enough. Well, I mean, there is, you would have known, I guess, because they probably would have pointed it out to you, because doesn't everybody point out the bathroom when you first walk into a place? Or if you just ask somebody, where's the bathroom?
Yeah, he goes over there and says,
Yeah.
I think I need to use the restroom.
Yeah. So this area here, interestingly enough, so big is the bathroom. So you go through 10, and then they tell you they point to this like kind of a low, you have to like crouch to get through, and you go into a room that is the lavatory. Short 5-foot entrance at the far end. It contains a sunken vat, clay chamber pots, and other evacuation apparatus. Pair of narrow ceiling vents allows the fumes to rise. You go in there, and there's actually a couple of people in there, and they come to you with a pot. You know, if you've ever been to like a fancy restaurant, there's always that person in the bathroom, and they come and they bring you a pot, and they're like, "Is it urine or something else?"
He says, it's something else. And then, he
Okay.
doubles over. He's like, I need to go right now.
Okay, that's him. He points at the other guy who's got like a more of a bowl, and he says, "Come this way." And he kind of goes over to the corner and puts it down. And he's holding like a leaf in his hand to hand you after when you're done.
Okay, well, it's gonna be a little while. I'll take the leaf, and then he takes the leaf.
Okay.
You sure you want to be here?
Oh, there's nothing I'd rather do in my life.
All right.
There's like 3 other people like lined up, all using these pots. It's a large, but they collect. They literally collect the waste for purposes.
Yeah, it was like, where I'm in Ixion, as you can see. We usually don't go when there's so many people around. And he says, I think I can manage. And he stands up and, leaves the area.
Okay. All right. So you're looking for a private place to use. I actually saw there was a lavatory. I was like, oh, maybe it will be private. But yeah, there's literally people in there because they collect the urine for tanning of leather and other things. So yeah, so you're taking care of that whole thing. Back in the room. Yeah, there's blood on the latch. I'm assuming that you're going to flip the latch, right?
I think so. Yes, after everything, yes.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll just leave. You know.
That's fine. I mean, I don't care. I've made my
Have the healers showed up yet?
Are you waiting for the healers?
Yeah, I told them to go
okay.
get the healers, and I was waiting outside with the women.
No, it's going to take it's going to take a little while for the healers to show up. There's a huge party going on. Nobody wants to leave. So if you're going to wait with the women, then no. You do see Ali go by though.
Shit. Well, I don't want to end up getting left
I'll
behind.
grab him.
Oh.
No, you don't see Ali. Revna does. You guys are in the main room.
Master Buka.
Yes, come on in.
You sure? And then he comes in.
Am I sure? Yes. Yes,
So-
I'm sure.
Who are in that room right now? It's just those women?
No. Let's just rewind here. In 13, where Revna is in the fire room, that's where Ali walks by. You wouldn't see Revna, Buka. You wouldn't see.
I wouldn't see him.
Revna.
Okay, no.
No, you're way down in the other. Yeah. So, and you guys you are in 17 with the door closed because you got the door closed, and actually there's a bar that drops in front. So because that's what you said you did. So I assume that's all been done.
Yes.
So did you want to open the latch without everybody, or are you going to try to get everybody? Your subtlety of getting people, yeah, your subtlety of getting everybody out didn't.
Yeah.
Well, once I realize that the healers are not coming immediately, I'm just going to prop them up against that hearth, and make sure they're okay, and then I'm going to go try and rejoin the people in 17 because the last thing Revna is going to want is to be left alone up here.
All right. Do
If
do
they,
you do you do you tell when you see Ali, do you get Ali to come with you, or do you just let Ali go by?
I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
He's he's,
Uh,
he's holding his stomach.
oh, um,
Actually, you see
He,
Ali
he like,
ask it.
do I see Revna at all, or is she
Yeah,
hiding?
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you
You
went
see her.
right by
Yeah,
me.
yeah. You went right
Oh.
by.
I mean, if I'm going right by her, I whisper to her, say, "What's going on? You
I
gotta
don't
tell me.
know. What's going on? Do you have to throw up?
Do I ever need to throw up?"
No, you're holding your stomach.
Oh, and then he's looking around, acting out. Where's Buka?
Oh, he's in there. And I'm going there right now.
Oh, I gotta go. And then he follows you into 17.
So some kind of strange twist of fate, you somehow end up in 17 with the entire party and no other extra people.
All right. As soon as he's there, he looks at everybody and says, "Where are those guards that were taking you? Did you take care of them all?"
I'm just banging my head against the bedpost.
Without wasting too much time, he casts locate object.
Okay. How long does it take to cast?
I think it's immediate, right?
Oh, it's just a fast one? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you want to cast any spells or anything, Crystal? You've been kind of quiet.
No, she's just kind of like the suspense is killing her. She's ready for the.
We're all
She's
staring
up
at the
against the
bloody
wall.
toggle.
She's up against the wall, just going, fuck.
I
No,
can't
she's been
believe
here
I'm
the whole
still
time,
with
like-
these idiots.
It's the bloody
She's just-
toggle.
She's standing next to Buka, probably bashing her head against the wall with him.
Okay. You cast a spell, you do not sense the object anywhere within the range.
Okay.
Yeah, it lasts for what turn? One turn per caster level. What level are you?
7.
Okay, I'll keep track of it. So you don't sense it at this point.
Okay.
Buka, would you like
Yes.
to open the trapdoor?
Locate
I will look at
whatever it is.
Revna and say, thief, if you don't do it, I will.
Ronsi's just gonna reach over and flick the switch.
Yeah, you reach over. You reach over and grab the toggle and you pull it, and the basically the lower part of the bench lifts up, and you can see that you'd have to like crouch to get into it. But once you do, there's actually a staircase going down.
So as soon as she flips the switch and it starts to move, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to go, oh my God, don't touch it. No, I'm just playing.
Okay. Opening it reveals a dusty cobweb stairs spiraling down into the darkness. They are laced with cracks and fissures. A trail of fresh blood glistens down the stairs.
Is there a blood trail? Yes.
Yes.
You just said that. Yeah, my
Yes.
brain is slow.
You guys, I'm just going to cast locate object. I'm going to realize that there's literally a trail of blood.
Ronsi's just gonna cast candle, and then she's gonna start following the blood trail.
Nice.
Hey,
No, it's
somebody else goes first.
cool. Nice.
I'm going to pull everything down so that it closes up behind us.
Okay. Try to cover your trail a little bit. Okay, so you head down that spiral staircase, following the blood trail. You got that candle. It's kind of the light doesn't shed that far, but I just lit the whole room up here. You can see you're probably gonna need more light down here because it's pretty dark. It's kind of cobwebby or whatever, but you can pretty clearly see in front of you. As you come to the bottom of the stairs, about 20 feet in front of you, a very heavy set iron door that is rusted, and you can see a blood trail leading up to it. And on the handle of it, you actually see some blood as well. It looks like it probably pushes in, and you can actually see like where it looks like a body leaned against it, like you see like a smudge of blood against it. Otherwise, in this space, I'll give you the basic description here. Masonry enclosed spiral stairs descend to 30 feet to an ancient basement. Some of the stairs are split. Some enclosing masonry is laced with cracks. Splatters of fresh blood trail down the darkness. Faint smell of burnt wool waves up from below. You can tell this is obviously part of the older structure. It's Hyperborean by design. The floor is like torn up, and you can actually see a knocked over pillar, and you can see a huge rent in the floor from probably from the earthquakes and stuff when the Ashen Worm came. So this look quite old. Okay. The columns knocked down. Just a quick observation. They look like they have etchings of or engravings of Apollo and Artemis. But of course, they're quite old. And as I said, the blood trail heads to the south. You guys can see that, right? There's a door to the south.
Yep.
Yep.
Rowan Seach is going to go ahead and light up 2 torches, and she's going to hand one to Ollie.
Nice. Assuming that Ollie takes it, you have plenty of light now.
It's all good. Yep, he takes it.
Do you dance around the torch? He's anxious to use that dance ability. It is the best ability of the witch. It's so specific, right?
I was totally going to do the Michael Jackson dance earlier.
Nice. All right, yeah. So you can see that clearly the blood trail goes to the door. You've closed up the secret door above you, and you also. I just want to get straight. You also closed the door to the room that you were in above, and you put the thing blocking the door, right? Or did you open it back up before you went down? Okay. Make sure. All right, so perfect. All right, so you guys, you're faced with this room. There's a huge, pit essentially in the floor, a gaping hole from probably an earthquake, some knocked over pillars, a rusty door, and a blood trail heading to the south.
Guess we follow the blood trail.
Yeah, probably.
There's a pit?
Well, you can see it to the right. It's like the ground like opened up.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, you still do not sense the locket, so it's not within 90 feet of you.
Gotcha.
I gotta keep track of where it is as you move. So what would you like to do?
Keep following the blood trail.
Nice. We'll need an open doors. It's stuck. So whoever's strong, if you want to roll an open door for me.
Buka will do it.
Okay.
Do I need to open it? Is there something you want me to roll, or can I just open it?
Oh yeah, you gotta do an open doors. It should be on your character sheet.
Open doors?
Yeah. Oh, it's a test. I'm sorry. It's a test of strength.
Oh, Daniel's DX is showing again.
Yeah, I'm like, open doors. I don't have that on my sheet. That's a success.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so it's a rusty door. It seemed like she probably had to slam her body weight against it to open it, but you're pretty strong, and you just you push it open, and the rusty door creaks very loudly. It opens up, very loudly because you're right next to it, but probably not loud enough to be heard above. And it opens up into a room that is clearly full of cells. Each of these cells has a door that's closed. And very likely locked. And it has like a window, maybe like a foot wide window with bars in each one. Obviously, you can't see into them because you're too far away as you look down into there. And of course, you can just kind of barely make out that there's another door at the far end of it. And the blood trail continues down. It continues down the path on to the west.
How high is the ceiling?
The ceiling in here is 12 feet.
12 feet.
It's bigger. It's 30 feet in the room we just came from because it had the spiral staircase going up, but it's 12 feet in here. Again, probably Hyperborean design.
Yeah.
You still do not sense. I mean, you've only come a little further. You still don't sense the.
He's gonna hop on his broom and then fly, close to the ceiling, all the way up to the other side of the room.
Okay. I mean, so you're gonna fly like 6 feet off the ground?
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
gonna
yeah.
he's gonna basically crouch and stay flat against his broom, and very close to the ceiling. He's gonna probably fly
Okay.
around like
So
8
8
feet.
feet. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and he's traveling at 80 movements.
Okay. With the torch.
Yeah.
The torch is like flickering out as you travel.
Throwing sparks.
That's fine. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's not very far. So you get up down there and then you go, zoom. It takes you longer to get the broom out, get on it, and float up to the top than it does to get to the other side of the room. So yeah, you get to the other side. There's a rusty door, much like the one that you just came through, and it is. It also has blood on it, and it's closed again.
Do I hear the ping within 90 feet or anything?
Nope.
Okay, he comes right back and says, "I don't. She's still farther away."
Rowan Sage is already halfway down the room, just walking.
Just walking casually. Okay. Did you want to look at any of these cells?
I know better than to look into cells.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk right past it. All right. You walk past the cells. Anybody else?
We avert our eyes.
Oh my god. All right. Yes. You look away from any potential. The DM is clearly baiting you with the cells. So yeah, you work your way down to that door again, and once again, you just have to do an open doors to get through it.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, again, boom. Yeah, so you knock it open, and you are. The only reason why I'm making you do that is because time is an issue with that spell. So if it takes you longer to get through the door, it'll matter. Okay, it comes out essentially into a space. The ledge, narrow ledge overlooks the sea 45 feet below. A watchtower once stood here, but it crumbled into the sea, and now fragments of its foundation are overgrown with vines and studded evergreens. A rusty iron door stuck. That must be the one you just came through. It's plainly visible from 19. Okay, yep, okay. The PC is skilled. Okay. That's just because you could get here from outside. You're outside basically. You're on like a weird like hidden cliff, and you can see that there's a ledge. And let's see. How did you get? Hold on, let's make sure the map is to get this right. Yeah. Door must okay. Yep, there you go. So you forced the door open with test of strength. You got through there already. And now you're looking down on basically water. What you can see if you go to the ruined tower area, there is actually a rope. Oh, interesting.
A rope
Oh,
that
sorry,
we
just
used
the
to
way.
climb up here.
No. The map is sorry, just the way the map is overlaid. Okay, so I understand what that is. Okay, so there's actually there's a rope hanging off this cliff. It's kind of an old rope, like it's kind of moldy and beat up, but it's out. You're outside right now. You don't think that the rope has been out exposed to the weather. It looks more like possibly it was maybe inside there and somebody picked it up and brought it out here. And obviously, and there's handprints of blood on the rope, and it seems to be hanging down.
Ali on his broom, he flies down where the rope basically ends on the bottom and tries to sense whether if he could sense the locket.
Okay, yeah. So you fly out there, and down. And you see that the rope looks like it's broken about 20 feet down. You can see it's broken, but below that there's a there's a cavern. So it's kind of like you're on this cliff, and then it kind of goes out. You know, like under a waterfall, sometimes it's cut in. It's kind of like that, and there's actually a bit of a ledge cavern there. And let's see, from where the rope is, would you actually do sense to lock it? It seems to go. Okay, so let me try to explain this. Look at that. So basically, there's like a water, you know, like there's like a huge river that's right next to this cliff, right? But there's also these like rivulets of water that run through and underneath. So there's like this almost like underground river coming out to meet with the larger exterior river, in the direction of that. So you'd have to go under this cliff and go into the cavern. You can sense in that direction, just barely, that it's pain.
Okay, he's gonna get off the broom at the bottom of it and instruct his broom. All right, carry each and every one down one at a time, and sends his broom up there so that he could bring one at a time down.
Okay. Assuming the broom can do that. So if you do that, you will basically you lose the pin, basically, after like the second person, because the time runs out of your spell. But you kind of know where it's coming from in general. I'll give you the general idea of where it was. But I guess everybody gets down to the bottom. It says here that anybody who's not the witch gets dumped from the broom automatically. If anyone but the witch attempts to ride the magic broom, it will dump the violator. Oh, unless the witch commands otherwise. Okay, perfect. Okay. Let me switch you to the next map.
And at that same time, while he's waiting, he's going to cast Alter Self and grow himself a pair of wings, a pair of large raven-like dark wings.
Okay.
And that allows him to move at half the movement of that shape normally.
Hold on. Alter self.
Yeah,
Okay. So you grow wings. Okay. 1d6 turns. Okay. Sorcerer mutates his form. Slightly more radical. Quasi, a new form, has wings. The caster are allowed to minimum flight, moving at no greater than the actual creature's speed. You have to turn into the creature, though, right?
No, he could just grow himself wings, as I understand it. It has to be a humanoid, but you could have wings from what I know.
If the new form has wings, okay. Caster can breathe underwater. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, you turn into. No, you gotta turn into something no. It says the altered form is limited to men, humanoids, and other bipedal species with which the caster is familiar. It does not grant any special. Yeah, you gotta turn into something. That's why it says sorcerer mutates its form similar to disguise self. Can't be 50% larger, lighter, heavier. If new form has wings, the caster is allowed minimal flight. So you'd have to turn into a creature that has wings that you've seen before.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. He'll turn himself into a harpy.
A harpy. Okay. Nice. You are a harpy. I'd like to be a harpy. You're a harpy.
Nice.
All right.
Harpy can
Yeah,
talk,
you guys.
right?
The harpies, sure, they can talk, they can sing. Let's see. I guess you can see all this. Let's see what you'd be able to see. Okay, so the broom goes up and starts. I guess everybody's willing to take the broom. I'm assuming nobody has a problem riding down the broom. The rest of the party.
No, we do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so by the time everybody gets down, you see that there's a harpy down here that I assume can speak and tell you that it's your friend.
You guys have been with LA for about past 3 years, so you know that he does weird stuff. And he explains, he sensed the locket coming from that direction.
Right. So just off into the darkness to the north, where you sense it. I'm assuming, and everybody's getting dropped off just because this is where you are. 21 is where the rope ends. So,
Okay.
yeah, 21. Actually, 21A. So right there is where the rope is. So that's assuming where you are. You can see there's some paths going off in the various directions, but up in this direction, in the darkness, is where you sense the locket.
Would you like me to burn this rope so that they can't follow us, or at least not easily?
You can, but I suspect we don't have too much time. I'll go ahead and scout ahead, and he flaps towards the direction of the sense.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna fly out there towards the darkness. So you can see that over here, as you're coming, flying. What did you want to burn that rope, Rhodes? You would have had to do it when you were up top because you can't reach it. It's 20 feet down. It's 30 feet up in the air, basically. So you could have done it from the top if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Did anybody else want to do anything else? Or I don't want to feel like I'm making this the witch show. Does anybody want to do anything, or are you just waiting for the witch to do its thing?
I don't have anything.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you fly out over into this direction where B is, and you can see huddled in the corner. You see a little bit of light at first. There's a torch that's kind of like jammed into the side. It's barely burning, just putting up a little bit of light. And you see actually, you see her. You see Goodhilda, who you know, of course. She is binding a wound that's on her arm. And of course, she looks at you and sees a heartbeat and pulls out her sword and says, "Back, you foul beast, or I'll cut you in pieces."
And he says, "It is I, Ali. Do not be alarmed. You've seen me in strange forms before."
She starts to cover her ears. She's heard of harpies. She backs up.
He dispels into normal form and stands as a regular man.
All right, make a what's your charisma?
Charisma is 15. Hold on. Charisma is 13.
Okay. I'm gonna do I mean, you know her. I'll give you a +2. In addition to that, 13 is already a +1. So you get +1. You roll 2d6 +3. And let's see if she believes you or not. Or if she runs you through or tries to run you through with her sword. You know, harpies are creatures of magic and don't roll super low.
3d6 plus
No,
3, right?
2d6. 2d6 +3.
2d.
Yeah.
3d6.
You'd have to roll exceptionally low for this to be bad, but you never can tell. 7. Well, that's not great. You're good to get the +3. She seems uncertain and she backs into the corner. Now she lifts that torch and kind of, waves it around so it kind of flames up a bit more. And now she's holding a sword and a torch. She kind of trying to keep you at bay. She doesn't seem to know if she can trust you or not.
Okay.
Of course, he
has his hands.
Your
open.
mic is acting all kinds of crazy too, also, Young. So please adjust it again. Sorry.
A little better. Better.
No, worse. Try it again.
A little better.
There you go. Don't move.
Okay.
Yeah,
he holds out his hand and basically, making sure that he's not holding any weapons or anything, and he backs away. But apparently, he should be very visible. I'm hoping that he's showing his form as Ali, and he turns back and says, "I found her. She's over here." To the rest of the party.
Okay. What does everybody else do when he yells at?
Nornstage will start making her way down there.
Okay.
Yes, we have to find her.
Do you say anything? Or you just move?
Rowan Sage will say, "It's us, your father," and she'll say the name of her father. "Sent us to find you."
Your father, whose name I do not recall.
I totally
fine.
know it. Hold on, it's right here.
See you all.
Yeah. I just call him Bob. No, that's good. Yeah. Okay, no, that's good. So just because so you move up, and of course you start to see the rest of the party, and she, you can see that her face starts to soften a little bit, and she says, "Oh, there's actually a box text. Okay, you see a woman garbed in blah blah blah. Anything that okay, she just says exactly what I did. So, yeah, she just looked at you, very relieved actually, and she says, "Ah, that bastard Black Bear was trying to wed me." And you can see that she's actually in what would be like probably torn up and ripped up like essentially a wedding dress. And she is definitely wounded. She was stabbed through the shoulder, like kind of the shoulder arm area. So like her arm is all caked in, and her left arm is all caked in blood. Um, and yeah,
Rowan Seach will move up and say, "Here, let me bind your wound. I have some actual bandages."
okay, yeah, she'll let you do that.
I will get out the
Yep.
the big hunk of iron,
Oh, nice.
the 10-inch bar,
Mhm.
and say, "Hey, your father wanted you to have this," and I will hold it out to her with the Old Norse there, and he said, "Make sure that you say Velkristrom when, and you'll know what to do with this."
Mhm. Yeah, she looks at it, and she drops the sword as and she says, "Well, you guys have torches, right?" So she actually drops both things, and she takes the piece of metal in both hands, and she speaks the word. You can see her lips. She moves. She says, "Valkyrstrom." And when she does, the bar stretches and transforms into a spear, 8.5 foot long, composed of a rune-grade shaft of ash with a head and butt of iron. She looks at it, and she says, "I thank you for finding me on behalf of my father and for delivering my weapon, but I don't require further assistance. You may go now. My fate lies elsewhere. When you see my father again, tell him to go home. Tell him that I shall return to his side after I've sated my thirst for vengeance."
Oh, well, I think your father has vengeance in mind as well. You should all come back together.
No, not vengeance against this shit above me. Vengeance against the creatures that slayed my mother. It was fate that I was kidnapped, for the creatures lie here in these caverns.
Hmm.
Still, I kind of like the idea of you coming back with us.
It was in a dream my mother came to me. She told me of the trapdoor, and that I should come here and destroy these creatures. And now, with my weapon, I know that it is fate.
Well, how about we help you destroy these creatures and you come back with us? Or you come
I will
back with us now and we'll help you destroy the creatures.
Returning to this place would be a simple matter for us.
I will not leave. If you choose to follow me and assist me in my quest, I will take your help, as you have proven to be good friends in the past.
Well,
All
we'll
right.
certainly help you, I think.
She kind of looks at you. She says, I know this is a quest that I must do, and it is my fate. But I also know that you are wise, and I could use your help. The evil is here. I know it.
Well then, we shall work together as we have done in the past. You're no
Yeah.
stranger to us.
Indeed.
She
Revna
kind
kind
of,
of
good.
Revna kind of just leans over toward Pinesta, since I know she knows Pinesta has a a penchant for like magic items, things like that, and just kind of mentions that she carries with her a magical weapon of the Valkyries.
Oh. Well, that should come in very useful if we do meet these creatures she's talking about. And
It
I have
is.
a feeling that Blackbeard is not going to just remain idle. In fact, I wonder if that witch of his is something to do with this evil that she senses.
Could be, but my point being is that the weapon that she commands, I would assume, is probably quite magical, and so she's going to be very difficult to. It's going to be very difficult to sway her mind.
Oh, yes.
Just throwing that out there.
Well, I guess our best option is to help.
Yeah, keep in mind that the weapon was delivered to her just now, and she came here out of her own volition. So I do not believe the weapon is the influence that's
No.
driving her.
It's not an influence. What I'm saying is now she has possession of that weapon. You're probably not going to be able to sway her now.
I understand, Reverend.
She was strong before.
Then we shall help her. We shall help her achieve justice as she sees it for her mother.
Rowan Siege leans over to Buka and says, they sure do used to talk a lot.
Yeah, while this was going on, Helene goes up and casts a healing spell on. Yeah. I didn't want to interrupt your conversation, but yeah, obviously Helene's not stupid, and she moves up and I thought the spell. Oh, here we go. She's gonna do a cure moderate because she's pretty hurt. Let's see. Oh, nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So she does a cure moderate on Goodhilda, and that does a pretty good job of bringing her back. Yeah. So she said, she accepts your help, and she says, no question, you are wise adventurers, but if you found me so easy, I believe that the wolf pack may as well. We should probably move on.
Agreed.
The edge of this cavern, like the ceiling, does it look fragile? Like if I were to cast a fireball at the ceiling, could I collapse it
Where?
at the entrance?
Like that huge part at the bottom? No, this is basically down. This is all this black. Let me show you. All of this area out here is effectively outside. That's just as far as they drew it. So you would have to do a massive collapse to do all that. If you're talking about just collapsing this, yeah, that you can do. But if you want to completely enclose this place and trap yourselves here,
Yeah. We don't know where the other exit might be.
Yeah. All right. Never mind.
yeah. I mean, you could do up here if you wanted to, where she is, but I'm not sure what the reason for that would be. But yeah, you would take a lot to block this whole thing, because it's basically like if you imagine under a waterfall, yeah. So no, you don't think you could do that.
Okay.
Not that part, anyways. You do see, actually, I guess because you're over here now. There is actually an ancient stairway that looks like it's climbing up here. And then, of course, you saw multiple exits from the main cavern. And down here in C, you actually see, if you're just kind of looking to see what's around you now, where you're not so focused on looking for her, you can see what appear to be something very, like a lot of very kind of shiny, reflective objects down in this area. They seem to be littering the floor. in the area by sea.
We'll take a look at those.
Okay. Yes, you start to move over toward them, and you see, I guess, I mean, it's not super dark when you have a torch. When you get, about 30 feet or so, you see that they appear to be like fist-sized snails. Their shells look to be almost like they're made of glass. They're transparent. And inside the cell, like where you see their bodies normally, you see swirling purple fluid. They're just kind of crawling around slowly. The snails, so not moving very fast. They're just kind of moving up. They cover basically the walls from about this area here, all the ways back to around here. So in other words, if you were to try to go into this chamber, you'd have to get close to them. Right now, I imagine you're about right here, so you're not particularly close to them. They stop. They're stopped around like here. Yeah.
I will back up. I'll tell the rest of the party. There's some very strange looking snails over there. I don't know if they are toxic.
Do we recognize them, or would the witch know anything about poison?
Snails? No, I don't.
Yeah, snail.
These are. Let's check something here. No, yeah, I don't think you've ever seen these before. They're incredibly rare.
There is a purple fluid in their shells, Ollie. I don't know if that's something you would be able to use in your potion.
Well, I would require my apparatus to do some tests to find out, but as of right now, I don't want to risk touching them.
Okay.
Why don't we cook them up?
That is not advisable.
Because they don't really have bodies, Buka. They have like this weird fluid, at least as far as I can tell through their shells.
Oh.
So I don't know if they'd be good to eat. Plus they're kind of pretty.
Okay.
You know what? Actually, hold on. Rowan Siege, you might know something about them.
Okay.
Because their ink is valuable to sorcerers. It's used in writing scrolls. But you also know it's incredibly dangerous to approach them. So you would know about them actually. The sorcerer would know that.
Oh, I know what these are. Their ink is very valuable, but they are also very dangerous. I advise we stay away from them if possible.
And that's what we shall do.
I mean, unless you want the valuable ink.
Well.
So tempting. It's hard to tempt a high-level party with money.
Keep hearing this demon in my ear.
Right.
I mean, we're gonna get like 5,000 gold pieces worth of gems for returning the girl. So,
well, I think the ink could be something that we would want eventually, but I think right now, as Ali has said, we should, and you have said as well, we should probably leave them be and we should help Goodhilda with her mission first.
yeah. And we could also, we could possibly turn this into a snail farm for your enterprise later.
Yes, if we could figure out a way to harvest them safely.
Yep.
Yeah. So there she is with the sword. Of course, now she has a spear. They didn't do a picture of her with a spear. I'm sure my screen right here. That's Goodhilda. In her fancy dress.
The wizard is gonna close his eyes for a moment, and because his raven is outside, perched on one of the trees or something like that outside, he's gonna basically will it to come near the area and keep an eye out on that cliff where they climbed down from.
Okay, definitely do that.
And he's gonna say, "Well, I'm gonna have my beloved Kasim watch over our pathway to ensure if there's any pursuers, we'll be alerted."
You are breaking up again, but I know it's a pain. Uh, but I heard that. So yeah, so they're gonna watch. So what would everybody like to do? Any particular direction you want to go? And she doesn't really know. You can tell that even though she's kind of strong-willed, she's young, and although you were probably that young when you started adventuring, she's tough, but she's not worldly in that sense. She's a good warrior, from her training, but she you can tell that she doesn't really know where to go. She just knows that somewhere down here is the thing that she needs to defeat. So where would you like to go? In other words, she's not going to lead you by your nose. You have to do this.
Right. Well, we can't go that way, so what do you guys think? The stairs?
The stairs?
I mean, if they're intelligent monsters, it could be good to go that way.
What
Well,
kind of
what is
creature
this
killed
evil?
her?
What is this evil that we're fighting?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask. Goodhilda, what are these creatures again that killed your mom?
It is the most terrible thing you could ever imagine. They are 20 feet long, scorpion-like creatures, 4 long taloned arms with a 15-foot long tail. They're inky black. And they have a huge bulbous face with no eyes.
No eyes.
No. Their head is just a blob.
Okay.
They can tear apart a man in each of their sets of arms. So 2 full-grown men torn apart at a time, while a third is run through by the terrible sting of their tail.
Okay.
Lovely.
And how many of these you think there are?
Who knows how much evil dwells in the world? I just want to kill the one.
You just want to kill the one.
I would like to kill the one that I need to kill the one
Okay.
that killed my mother.
How will
That
you
one
know
is
this one from the?
especially.
Oh, it's especially.
Wouldn't you know?
Yes, probably. I can see your
Anesta,
point.
didn't you mention one time that you fought a large hydra in a lake?
I did fight. Well, wasn't much of a fight really, but I did kill a hydra in a lake. Yes, with
Yes,
my
and
lightning.
you described it to me in quite the detail. I recall it. Interesting. It is nothing like the monster that we would fight, no?
No, this sounds
Giant bug.
very different.
How many heads did that creature have? The one that you fought, the large hydra.
I believe he had 7 heads.
Interesting.
Well, it doesn't matter if he had 5 or 7 because she's a bard. She's exaggerated anyway. He had 7 heads.
And he could swim too, yes?
Yes, he could swim. That's how I killed him. I got him when he was in the.
And
Just
breathe
coming out of the
fire
water.
and lightning.
That's right.
Thing.
Actually, he breathed a different kind of breath from each head.
Which section of this cavern are we standing in right now?
You're in the center, exactly where it says 21.
Okay.
It is good to learn about these strange and powerful creatures for certain.
Yeah.
And he
I think
nods.
Young's trying to work a spell out of this here. Yeah. I can feel it. You're not going to polymorph into a hydra, so don't even try it.
It is 7 HD.
Yeah, I know.
So when Grunhild mentions that it basically looked like a scorpion, she is going to light her own torch
Mhm.
and immediately start looking. Since this is a cavern, it should be kind of a dirty, dusty, floor. I'm assuming.
It's a sea
So-
cave.
Okay.
So it's and it's actually it's fresh water, because it's up the bay. So it's just wet and damp in here. It's kind of maybe a little muddy.
Maybe a little muddy. Okay. So I'm going to use my torch to try and look for giant insectoid footprints along the floor or around A and
Okay.
C, stuff like that. Just see if I can see if this creature's tracked through here and which way it might be going.
No, you don't. You're not able to. I mean, you search around a little bit. Mostly, what you see is like the party's traction going back and forth and jumping off this broom and going this way and going that way. Yeah, you just see a lot of human footprints. You don't see anything that looks like an animal at all. But it's also
Yeah.
kind of a mess down here.
Can I go check this particular area?
Yeah, that's exactly where you all walked to go see her.
Oh, okay. I thought we were down here. Sorry.
You were, but you went to go get her up here in A and B.
Gotcha.
She was in
Okay.
B. You all came in 21A, and then you went up to B and got her, and then you came back to 21.
Okay.
So you guys have been tramping back and forth over this area.
I gotcha.
In this room, the only places you haven't been is like down by C where those snails are, and 22. Nobody's been over there yet. But otherwise, yeah, you guys have been tramping.
Let's go over to the stairs.
Yeah.
Well, can
Can I
we
just? Sorry, go
can we
ahead.
check C? Since I mean, is it dangerous over there?
Well, there's snails over there. If you'd like to go for it, you can.
Oh,
There's a bunch of fish-sized glass snails with purple fluid floating around inside of them.
And Rowan Siege told us they were very dangerous.
oh yeah. Sorry, my mind was more focused on bug
No reason to
tracks.
no reason to apologize. I
Did
just
you say butt cracks? Is that what you said?
Bug tracks.
Oh, bud tracks. I see.
You
I do.
cretin.
Rowan Speech is going to start crossing the river. She's gonna take out her quarterstaff and
Mhm.
like poke down in the water to make sure she's not stepping in a hole or anything like that.
Okay,
And
where are
she's
you
gonna
going?
say, I hope you guys are following me. And she's gonna head over to the stairs.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely do
I bet you do hope that.
that.
On
Okay.
C, he points in that direction and says, "Do you want those snails to be cleared or swept off the way?"
Leave them alone.
Okay.
She said they're dangerous. That's good enough.
we might deal with them if Rowan Siege decides she wants the ink later. But for now, I think we need to help Goodhilda.
I agree then.
Yeah,
And he
the
hops on
sooner we
the
help her, the sooner we get her back to her father.
That's right.
he hops on the broom and crosses the river to the other side.
All right. So there's stone steps here. Obviously, we already talked about that. They're badly degraded. They ascend into darkness. And you can the water from the river here. It's fairly shallow, but you can get the feeling that sometimes, depending on like on a rainy day or whatever, you can see by the erosion that it definitely comes up onto 22 occasionally. It might even go up the stairs for all you know when it gets really flooded down here. There's some signs of erosion. But yeah, your torch goes about 30 feet up, and you can see it opens up into a chamber.
How's my torch doing at this point?
Oh right, you lit it way back in the. So I mean, yeah, you were talking a lot, but I don't count that as real time. So I would say you get like maybe another 2 turns with the torch before it burns out.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it will likely burn out when you're in that room. So if you want a fresh torch before you get in there, then,
Yeah. Rowan Siege will go ahead and light up a fresh torch, and then the other torch she'll toss out over into the river.
Okay. All right. It flows with the current out. All right. Yeah. Are you guys gonna go up into this chamber?
Rowan Siege, yes.
Okay. All right. So you guys are heading up into the chamber.
Hmm.
Open it up in here. There's basically a couple of you can see both sides of the cliff climbing up, so you can't really see the tops of them right yet. Let's see. This granite earthen cave is a 26-foot ceiling height, houses an 18-foot alabaster statue of a great segmented worm rearing up. From its gaping fang maw stares the aloof face of of a man with inhumanly high cheekbones. The statue is set in a rough-hewn western alcove. Before it stretches a low table carved of granite and embedded with shackles that have been corroded with rust and decay. You guys would know this because you went, at least Pernesta would. I think she might have been the only one around back then. Maybe Revna was when you did you guys encountered the stuff with the Ashen Worm before. But I mean, most people know about the Ashen Worm, so I'm not going to, I'll assume everybody knows about it. And certainly your cleric there knows. The statue represents the deity North, the Ashen Worm, whose cultic worship the throve in the sea caves here, during the Old Earth. You would know that.
Okay.
There are eyes set in the eyes of the human head are 2 white diamonds. They look incredibly valuable. So basically, you've got this huge, like, segmented worm statue with a man's head inside of its mouth, and it's got 2 huge diamonds for eyes. In front of it is clearly some kind of an altar where they strap people down because there's rusted chains and stuff. Yeah. The north and south natural shelves rise 12 feet high to the north, 8 feet high to the south, each extending into darkness. So you got 2 like little cliff areas on either side.
Rowan Sage will point up to the diamonds and say, "Ooh, look, a trap."
Yes. If we could figure it out, we could spring it though and get those. I know Revna would probably like those.
I think we need to focus on the task at hand. Let's destroy the evil and get the young lady back to her father.
Who are you
Yes.
and what have you done with our Buka?
His death has changed him.
I don't think this is part of the evil, she says.
Okay. Well, then we'll leave it.
I can't.
I mean, we can always come back.
Yeah, I agree with Buka.
Okay.
Okay. Did you guys want to look up on the 2 cliff areas? Barbie just kind of abandoned that.
I wanted to just inspect around the statue just to see if there's some kind of secret passage, and that's it.
All right, fair enough. You check pretty thoroughly. It looks like that the it's a really rough hewn kind of cave. So yeah, you think you'd be pretty easy to see something that could move or be a passage, and you don't see anything there. Did you say something, Crystal, about wanting to inspect something, or same thing?
Yeah, I was gonna walk around the statue and inspect as well for a secret.
Yeah. I mean, you would know. I mean, you guys have been around your high-level adventurers. This is clearly some kind of an old temple where they did some kind of sacrifice, most likely human sacrifice, to the Ashen Worm, which of course was the beginning of the end of Hyperborea, basically.
Yeah.
And the Great Plagues and stuff, the Green Death.
Yeah, we've heard of him before.
Yeah.
How tall are the cliffs again?
8 foot. And you can climb. I mean, they're not like straight cliffs. They're kind of like just steep. You'd have to like hand, and anybody can get up there without climbing, without a climbing check. One of them's 8 feet. The other one's 12. To the north and south, 12 feet to the north, 8 feet to the south.
I will peek over the southern one very carefully.
Okay.
I'll do the same over the northern one.
All right, fantastic. I will reveal them both as our intrepid adventurers look for trouble. Okay, to the south. This cave is piled with gems and jewelry. There is some quartz, some moss agates, tiger eyes, turquoise, garnets, studded gold brooch, ruby studded silver diadem, and there's a strange necklace that it almost looks like various sized pearls, but the pearls have like a reddish sheen to them. That is to the south. To the north, there is this cave is piled with ancient Hyperborean electrum pieces. So there's a huge pile of electrum pieces. I mean, huge pile of electrum pieces. I mean, let me say it one more time, a huge pile of electrum pieces. And on top of that pile, laid very nicely and somehow not green and funky, but in perfect shape, is a set of chainmail armor made of copper, and next to it a bronze shield, both of them in perfect condition.
Ooh. This is to the north, right?
This is the one to the north. That's what.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of peek over my shoulder, and I'm gonna be like, "Give me a second," and I'm gonna hoist myself up there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of electrum pieces. I mean,
Yeah.
not that you would know, you're not going to count them all, but just to give you an idea visually, there's 3,500 electrum pieces there. So there's a lot of electrum pieces. It's a huge
Yeah.
pile. Yeah, and
No,
then and you look at them, and they are clearly ancient. They have you've never seen any stamp like this before. On one side, it has a two towers, and on the other side is the Eye of Sistaqua. So these are mint you've never seen before.
Okay. So I'm gonna take one coin, and then the just out of curiosity, the chainmail, I want to reach out with like my 2 fingers and grab a piece of it and like shake it to see if it makes any noise. Like, does it sound like chainmail like rattling or?
Yeah.
Okay. Who wears? I would know this just from adventuring with them, but who wears chainmail down with the rest of the party? Anybody in particular? I don't
Who's
think
wearing
any.
chainmail? Who's
I have
wearing
to-
it now, or who can wear it? It's a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have scale right now.
Not that you're chainmail. Did you
I
have
would just go
chainmail,
back and
Panessa?
get the big diamonds
Oh,
too.
yes, chainmail. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, Panessa's wearing chainmail. Other people that can wear it would be Buka, right? You can wear armor, though you wouldn't because,
Yeah.
right? You're a
Right.
berserker, right? Don't you get one? And Helene can also wear armor, but she's wearing plate mail, so wouldn't wear chainmail.
So I'm gonna
But
grab.
also the young lady you just picked up is wearing no armor at all. She's in a wedding dress.
Well, she may
Yeah.
want to wear Panessa's. I'm gonna pick up the chainmail like gently, hope that nothing kills me, and I'm gonna walk over to the edge and I'm gonna hold up this really pretty copper chainmail, and I'm just gonna kind of hold it over so that everybody down there below can look up, and I'll just say, I understand that it's all the rage these days.
Copper.
This has been sitting, and I take the coin and I flip it down and I say, this coin is really, really old. And so is this. And you see how absolutely perfect it still looks.
So it's magic. So I'm on the other side. Never mind.
Well, I mean,
Well, I mean,
you should still be able to see it.
yeah, I mean, you're 30 feet away. You can see it.
You're only 30 feet away. I'm like, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Is
I'm
anyone?
not saying it's aliens, but
Could be cursed.
aliens.
Could be
Could
cursed.
be.
I say bring it down.
There's a really nice shield up here too.
Do you want to go back and get the diamonds too?
No,
Shall we?
because
Just
I can't wear
do it?
diamonds. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying, like, hey, do you want
No,
fancy armor
I
or
know.
not?
Let's if we're just gonna do it, then let's do it. Or
So
I
I'm just
mean,
gonna
I get
take
it.
the chainmail and I'm just gonna like two-hand it, just whoosh, just throw it right at Buka. So this like chainmail comes flying, it's like whoosh, like that, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back and grab the
I'll
shield.
just snatch it with one hand.
I'm gonna go back and grab the shield and then hop down. It's like
Okay.
there's also about 4,000 of those coins up there too. Just for so you know. But here's a shield. Does anyone want to use it?
Yeah, Goodhilda.
Well, we'll give it to her.
Yeah, she looks and she's like,
The Shield Maiden.
I'm a shield maiden and I could use the armor too. He's like, you can have it back when we're done. I don't care.
So I hand her the shield and I say, you can get the armor from Stinky over there.
Hey, hey, go get your diamonds, because I can tell already. I'm going to hear it all the way. We just left those there.
No,
No, go ahead.
I don't
can
need the
wait.
diamonds.
No,
You got
we got, and you might as well bring down the coin.
I got the armor for you guys.
I will lug it all around. It's fine.
So
You
while
know, it
Buka's
is prudent.
while-
It is
Daniel.
prudent to
Yeah,
wear the
hold on.
armor just in case that creature comes alive when you remove the diamond. It'll be prudent for her to put on her armor and ready herself with the shield.
Yeah, she took the armor off Buka, and she kind of does that thing where she goes to the corner and puts her back to the party and kind of drops down her dress, and she puts the armor over her shoulders, and she's probably still got like the little skirts hanging from underneath because she doesn't have proper anything to put underneath. And now you've got a true shield maiden with a shield, chainmail armor, and a beautiful spear. And you see her hair. It's not even windy in here, but her hair is like blowing.
She still needs a
She's got
winged
the-
helmet, but there's still there's still time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
you got the Mariah Carey hair fan blowing on there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's got full.
So did you find anything, Vanessa?
Vesta laughs and says, I did actually. Lots of gems and jewelry. 2 pieces that I find really interesting, though. I think that's all I will take for now. I'm going to take the diadem and the pearls with the reddish sheen.
Okay.
Blood pearls.
Because the pearls.
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
like-
You take them, and as you touch the pearls and you kind of pick them up, they almost feel a little bit warm in your hand.
Hmm.
And you notice that the way that they're on the necklace is you can see that they're very delicately on it, like you could easily pluck them off. And in fact, you see some spots where pearls have been plucked from before.
I see. Okay. I'll say to the others, there's a lot of gems up there, just like there was a lot of electrum on the other side. I don't think we can carry them all, but just know that they are there. Perhaps we can come back for them.
Yep. Sounds like a good excuse to come back later.
And then I'll
Nah.
go to the. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then I just give Buka a hairy eyeball.
And then I'll go to the magic users, Ali and Rowan Teach, and I'll say, these pearls, are they something that one of you use in your spells? It looks like some of them have been used, or are they? Do you know? And I'll just show them.
Rowan Seach, roll a d6. I'll give you 4 and 6 because this is kind of right up your alley.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would recognize this item as often called a necklace of missiles. And each of those pearls is effectively a fireball.
Oh,
There are.
Nice.
Yeah, there's. I'm gonna tell you what's on there now. Where'd it go? Necklace of missiles. There's a total of 3 pearls on there now. 2 smaller ones and 1 bigger one, and you would know that the bigger they are, the more powerful they are. So 3 total.
Just be careful with them. Remember that fire is alive.
Oh yes, I've seen what fireballs can do. Yes.
Yes,
About
we've seen what fire can do.
about 3 or 4 years ago, I think. No, but no, Rowan Siege, I appreciate this very much, and she still loves that kind of thing. So if nobody cares, she'll keep it. But if someone else wants it, of course, she'd give it up.
What's that? The necklace of fireballs?
Yeah.
Or the diadem? Okay. Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, if someone else wants to use it, I don't. Don't you still have
Have it,
grenades,
Vanessa.
Revna?
I
I
don't.
think maybe.
No, I don't think I got any of those, but you know what, honey? I am okay.
Okay.
I don't like the idea of fireballs hanging around my neck.
Well, they seem fairly fragile. I was actually going to put them in my pouch and like.
Just don't reach out and try to pull something and yank the thing.
Right.
Ah!
But thank you. If anybody wants one, though, I have 3.
Allow me
Well-
to inspect the diadem.
I will let you know that you would, because again, I could just, you said that, Roads each would know this. When you pull them, they're like, right, you pull them and then you need to throw them. Like they're going to go off. Like
Okay.
you can't just give one to somebody. If you do that, you're going to blow them up.
All right.
So probably when you say, I mean, you tell me, Roads each, if you tell her that, but she...
Yeah, of course, yeah. So does someone want one? Whoa.
Right, yeah.
What did I just tell you about fire?
She smiles and says, "Okay." I love this kind of thing, so yes, I will. I will keep it. And yes, Ali, I would give Ali the diadem since he would like to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
It
gonna
is-
inspect it.
It's ruby studded, and it's made out of silver. It's beautiful. It's definitely old. Like you can tell by the design of it that it's like old Hyperborean, like pre-Black Death or Green Death. I think it's called.
Is there any magical writings?
There's no writing on it at all.
Okay, he just gives it back to her and says, "This is very valuable. It'll make us all rich."
Well, thank you. All right. Let's go.
Okay, so you turn to leave the room now with all this loot.
Well,
Well,
if
I mean, you're
we're
not
all
gonna take the gems or anything.
The only loot I see is wearing copper chainmail.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking more of the gems or anything. So, I
Oh
think
yeah,
How
yeah,
large
no,
are
yeah.
we're leaving
Oh,
the diamonds.
I mean, it's gonna. If you took all those gems, it would probably fill like a backpack or most of a backpack. There's a lot of gems up there. Yeah, I mean, there's not that many because they're fantasy gems, so they're like big. No, I meant like, are you gonna take the eyeballs? Is what I meant.
I think we decided no on the.
Okay, yeah, so you're just gonna take the loot that you have. I wouldn't say anything. Yeah, you look and you see out of the corner of your eye, you have like this glow, and you see the shield maiden in her copper and bronze with her flowing red hair, in her spear, and she's like, "What?"
Nice.
Yeah.
Ali
So,
asks
yeah.
her, "Is that the creature that you're looking for?" And he points at that statue.
No, the creature I'm looking for would laugh at such a beast.
That
Well, if you say so, perhaps we could all get ready and take those beautiful 2 diamond gems up there.
No.
If it were to come alive, we could
No.
simply defeat it. No?
No. Come on. She's gonna take Ali by the hand and start leading him out of the room.
Yeah, Ali's eyes grow wide at that, those gems. And he's like, I can't believe we're just passing by those gems.
well, we'll come back.
Yeah. Most people wouldn't believe we would leave them there. That's a good indication that we haven't been here. Right?
Good point. Yep. All right.
Well, Hook is very smart today.
Like I said,
Lucas
That's why I
died
said.
once.
picked up some pointers in the afterlife.
That's why I asked earlier. I said, "Who are you, and what have you done with our buka?"
All right. Well, once he starts berserking, then we'll see where it goes. But
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
now, he's yeah.
Brighild did say death changes a person.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Yeah. So you come out of this room, knowing that you should be able to come back and collect this treasure at some point, and back down into the other by the what? I'm just saying you should be able to across the river and to the other side. Young, roll a d6. Ooh, lucky. Your raven is not surprised when the rusty door above busts open and coming through. Apparently, I'll say the raven somehow because it stays in contact. A witch's raven is always in contact, so you sense through the raven. You don't see, but that there's danger, and it flies off. And it senses that that something's come through the door.
Yeah,
Somebody's come through the door.
he relays the information. Our companies here, our pursuers, have reached the cliff. They shall be coming down very soon. We should get ready if we're to have battle.
Burnt that rope. It should take them a little while to find us.
It'll be a good opportunity to ambush them if they were to try and come down. Or do we want to make haste and exit this place?
Let's keep going. We gotta find this creature. Not too worried about the pirates right now.
We don't want to be flanked while we're facing the creature, don't we?
Did you see if the sorceress was with them?
I
I'm
didn't
gonna say,
risk-
yeah. Sorry. Good.
Yeah, I didn't risk my raven long enough to see if the sorcerer was with them.
Okay, that's understandable. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Puka?
I think we should press on.
Okay.
The best battle is battle avoided.
Wow. Death really did change you. She said.
Brigand?
Somewhere in Hyperborea, Brighild sneezes.
Yeah.
I guess married life is getting to me.
There you go. All right. So, which one of the three passageways would you like to go through?
Rowan suggests we just go down through the river, and she'll keep her quarterstaff poking and looking for holes. Make sure that they don't get too deep.
Oh, what do you mean down through the river? Sorry.
So like, just like, down through here.
I think
Well, that leads
to the-
outside. That goes outside.
Oh, that goes outside. Okay, I'm confused.
Yeah, I know the map can be confusing. So basically, all of this. Let me see if I can get my little pencil thing, so maybe it's more clear. Nope, I don't want to draw. I want to draw a line. Freehand. Here we go. So all of this out here is an extension. Oh, you can't see it because it's black. That's why it's confusing, because they got it blocked off with the. Now I understand. This is the problem with Fog of War. This, open all that up. Now do you see it? That's just the end of the map, basically. So like all that blue lines I just made, that's all just water. That's outside, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So like you came down. You came down the cliff, like basically this way, and like swung into here. Like the enemy, for instance, is like pretty much right above you. And this out here is basically outside. All of this is.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to stay inside, you'd have to go up the river.
Further
Which
into the cave?
it is, but that's not the direction that she thinks the creature is. This would be.
So we need to go
or
there,
this.
or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows it's not there.
Okay.
This is like a cavern complex. Like that leads like into the spring that comes pouring the water into the thing. So that doesn't lead anywhere really, I guess. If that makes sense.
So why am I thinking it's where the snails are?
Yeah.
I agree. Let's just be
Okay.
really careful. Really careful.
Yeah, let's go around the dangerous snails.
Well, they're snails. How fast can they move?
Well, I
Use
mean, they could fall
last
from the
word.
ceiling. Yeah. Keep your eyes on the ceiling. Make sure they don't get above you.
Okay, so
Because
you want to walk through the snail area and go up that pathway?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
you know, Ali's gonna say, look at the rest of the party and says, should I just sweep those snails away?
you're a real clean fellow, aren't you?
Yes.
If I wanted the snails gone, I could do that. The snails could be valuable later. Just avoid
Yes.
them as best you can.
And I think it also slows down other people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you say so.
If you want to just walk through where the snails are, to get to that path, mechanically, you'll need to either succeed in a extraordinary feat of dexterity, or a successful move silently. If you do one of those two things, then you can get through without disturbing any of them. Otherwise, you will have the chance of disturbing some of them. So that's
What's on the other?
that.
What's on the other side of the snail, or how far do we have to go?
I mean, they start like just below the 21, and then you're trying to get to where the sea is, basically, with the entrance right there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's like a tunnel right here. I don't know if that's not clear. That's where you're going. But right
Okay.
now you're up where the 21 is.
I'm wondering whether if we could just simply hover over it and go into that pathway.
You could. All that takes time.
Okay.
Where are the snails exactly? Like, are the snails like here?
They're around there. Yeah.
Yep. All that whole area.
Okay.
There's a total of, I mean, not that you would take it down to count. There's a total of 160 of them. They basically cover that entire area.
All
Yeah.
right.
There's a lot of snails.
And we can't just like pass through the river. Like
You could
we
go
can't
this
just
way, but
like
then you'd still have to go over the snails.
Yeah.
See what that area just covered there? They cover all that whole. There's 160 of them.
Just all
they don't go
bunched
all the way.
together.
Yeah, they're like, they don't go all the way to the back, so they're probably more like here. Like, well, realistically, they're probably more like that. They're like a cluster of them. Because that door, that passageway, is very, very nice for snailing.
Okay.
Clearly. Who knows what's in the mind of snails? So yeah, I mean, you do exactly. So they're basically like, here, I'll draw.
Must be a nice algae colony right there.
Exactly. So it's roughly like this, basically. Whatever, however you want to look at it. You have to kind of maneuver through it. You could fly over it for sure. You could do any number of things, but if you want to walk on the ground,
maybe we just go through up here.
Yeah.
Oh, is that another tunnel up there?
Yeah, there's two of them.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, then let's
three
just go
tunnels.
Here or here.
There you go. Boom.
Okay. Yeah, then we'll just go through one of the not snail tunnels.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was wall-to-wall snails.
It's wall-to-wall snails.
This map is confusing me. I gotta with all the black and everything.
We could tiptoe through the snails.
It's confusing with the black.
Yeah. Because everything just looks the same, so it's hard to make out where the tunnels are and stuff. Because it's all black, so it just all looks like dead ends to me.
Well, that's as far as you can see.
Yeah.
Until you explore.
Okay.
There might be dead ends.
Let's go. I guess just middle tunnel first.
The one right between the 21. This guy.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. So you work your way through the tunnel. You see it branches off this way, and probably with a little bit of thought process, you can see that goes this way.
That's cheating.
You know it is, right?
It
A,
is.
a whole lot of talk about the snailing, and then it ends up being the same tunnel. All right. Okay. Okay. So as you kind of approach, let's see, the stringy curtain of moss that thrives along the columnar, columnar jointed ledge on the side of the cave is the home. The centipede. So you see, basically, you come into this place and you see that this place is covered in moss, and there's like these weird, gross, like centipedes all crawling around in it.
Watch the ceiling.
Yeah, right. I don't mean a torch goes about 40 feet. I don't want to, yeah, I'm just going to do this. You can see that far. This keeps going, but you can't see it because your angle. Basically, there are, and you can see that essentially what you're looking at is, it's good that you're coming from the right direction. If you're looking at this cliff, so these markings denote a cliff. Maybe I haven't been clear. Sorry. So you're at the bottom, right? To get up to where the other side of it is, you'd have to climb up, and that is basically moss covered, and there's tons of giant brown centipedes crawling through it. It's about 15 feet to the top of the ledge. And yeah, you can kind of see that. You can see some crawling around, but you don't know like if there's some that are crawling inside of it or whatever. So it could be risky just to climb up without doing something first. And of course, time's ticking outside because you spent a whole lot of time outside. Which way to go?
All right, sweep this area. Ollie, you've been dying to sweep something.
Sweep the leg. He's not gonna. No, Ali is now Karakul, and Karakul does not sweep.
It's like sweep this. Well, now I don't wanna.
Maybe he had a specific snail sweeper. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he was actually thinking about using the broom to basically sweep it off, but then, considering how dangerous it could be, he grabs the rock and throws it into that area.
Oh,
And
very
Into
good.
See,
Nice.
The
see
moss
how
snails?
at the snails to see how they react.
At the snails.
At the snails or the centipedes?
Oh, wait. Where are we? Are we at 28 right now?
Yes. Okay, so sorry, you just came in at 28. You've left the snails. Clearly, Crystal and me thought that you were going to sweep them with some kind of magical ability, not literally
That's what
sweep
I
them with the
thought.
broom,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna sweep it with a real broom.
which might have been cool.
Bro.
But now you're looking at basically a 15-foot cliff that you'd have to climb up, but that's covered in moss. So you can see crawling in and out of the moss. So these like large brown centipedes about a foot long, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, and he says, let us sweep ourselves, and he hops on the broom and flies up to the top and sends his broom down for the next person.
Oh no. Whoa, wait.
You're also being followed, so all that takes time.
Please
Just so
come
you know,
back.
whenever you do that.
Ollie, I have a better idea. All right. Ruin Siege kind of rubs her head, and hopefully Ollie comes back.
He's gone.
And
You know
he
what?
yells down, "If you're gonna throw that, throw it in the other direction when the pirates come from the small cavern."
Vanessa, do you want to throw one of those fire beads over there, so we can clear out the centipedes, please?
Yep. That's fine. I just throw one and then run away.
Where? Hold on. Where is Ali? Where are you flying to, Ali? Before they throw fireballs here.
Yeah. Actually.
I'm over 28. Flying directly up.
Oh, so no, never mind then.
Okay, so you can see that because you have a torch still. I guess you would have to have lit a new one. Because if not, you're flying into the dark. Okay.
What do I have?
Yeah. So yeah, you fly up there and you can see that. This is basically you got moss all over the ground here, and you see a few more of these centipedes kind of crawling around. Though not nearly as much. You see basically. What you see mostly is near the edge of the thing, you see more of that moss, and you can see the centipedes in it. And out around where it says B, you see that there's like a bunch of like rodent bones and like scraps where Clearly, small animals have been killed up here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna throw it if he's over there.
Yeah, I mean, if she's gonna try to throw that, I'm gonna move to the other side. I'm gonna fly back to the skies over A, where the rest of the party is.
Well, I don't know. Do you think that's really the best?
Well, we're just trying to get them to clear out.
I mean,
They'll
a
run away from the
fireball.
fire.
Yeah, if you toss a fireball in the center of that thing, it's going to destroy anything that's in that space.
Yeah.
I mean, a
don't think it's
fireball's
a
a
good pretty
big effect. It'll
Yeah.
clear the space for sure. I don't think you'd be in any doubt that that would clear the space because a fireball's got like a 40-foot radius or diameter or whatever, so it should easily clear that space if that's what you want to do.
But anything else would also be consumed that might be hidden in the moss.
That is correct.
Yeah. I don't think this is the best way. Does anybody else have another idea? Let me see what I've got here.
Ruins each cast a fireball at the thing. Controlled fireball.
Okay. You see, you want to consume this area where the moss is.
Yeah, she's gonna do controlled fireball blast, and she'll make the blast just a little bit bigger. It's normally like 40 feet. Wait, how big are these squares?
10 feet.
And we're here.
Yeah, you got about, in order to wipe this entire wall out, you'd need about 60 feet roughly. But I mean, obviously, you could just blow it up in the middle and then clear a spot where you can climb up. But remember, it's a ball, right? So if you did a full 60 feet, you'd have to stand out in the hallway, otherwise it's going to reach you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't want it to hit you, then you'd need to probably make it like a 30-footer. Roughly.
Okay. I mean, yeah, just a fireball big enough that it won't hit us, and it'll clear out a path for us.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll say you clear out the. Do you want to clear out the center? That's just easy. Okay. All right. So that whole section right there that I'm marking off is now below the bits. And of course, yeah, and of course you do see some of the centipedes on the sides like scramble because of course they're afraid of a fireball.
Ah, look, a path for us to walk through. And Roxage is going to continue.
Is it a walk or climb?
It's a climb, 15 foot.
Yep. I'm going to scramble up it.
All right, perfect. So you move forward and start to climb up. And just as you do, actually, I guess, it hasn't rolled in a while. Mike. Roll a d6 to see if you're surprised, as with all this time you spent, the enemy has finally caught up.
Damn it.
Oh, no, you're not, right? You just rolled. All right, so you're not surprised. All right. I think we'll end here, though, because I don't think we're going to have time to go into big combat. But just so that everything's clear, you're in A. You've just cleared a 30-foot square. You move towards the wall to basically climb up there. So now, quite literally, your backs are against a wall. As 9 enemies enter the space, looking to, as you might imagine, take back what they believe is theirs. So, yeah.
Only 9?
Only 9. And there's a bunch of you. So because you got Helene too, who's been looking at you all like, you guys have been out of practice, huh?
Yeah.
And we've got our shield maiden now fully armed.
Okay.
So we should see. This should be an interesting fight.
You're welcome, madam.
Awesome. All right. So we'll come back next week. We'll conduct this fight, and you guys can kick some butt. All right.
Sweet. I already know how I want to start it off too. So
nice. We'll let you go first. Don't let me forget. I'll let you go first.
all right.